Okay. We are good to go. Hope the music comes back here because it is absolutely dead right now. All right, we are on, excuse me, the last session of the Iran Victoria 3 game, the one we started quite some time ago. We have got Iran into a fantastic position. They are very strong. We're 20. We're almost a major power at this point. We are obviously in the Qing's market. We're cooperating heavy with them. We have received reports that the Qing are going to be invaded potentially by the British. We'll see. It's the AI, so I'm not sure what will go on there. Be warned. Generally speaking, we control a lot of our historical territories, including Khiva, which we've maintained. We've had relations have gotten better with the Russians. The Ottomans we had been considering a war with, but they have become basically more or less a protectorate of Austria-Hungary as they made a deal with the devil. So there's really not much more expansion we can do. Now, Hijaz is the one option we have remaining for expansion, and I think we may do a war against Hijaz here at some point. So that may be the last thing we kind of take, generally speaking. So, yep, that's where we're at. I want to work on the economy a little bit in the beginning. We have a huge deficit of opium. We need a lot of it. You know what I'm going to do, because I do have my music working. I'm going to kill the in-game music. Bear with me one moment. And I'm going to play the music directly from the YouTube one. There we go. Cool. That'll just even out a little bit more so the audio doesn't conflict with itself or anything like that. Okay. So as I said, we got a letter from the Qing, which I need to respond to right now, saying that let me see, that they are likely to get invaded. They're suggesting that we do not enter this war, as we would struggle to really to fight off the British, which we would not agree with. We'd want to be involved. So let's just go speak with him directly. We don't need to send a letter, do we?
Greetings.
Hello, this is the ambassador in Beijing for the Iranian Empire. We received your letter, and my Grand Vizier has sent a message to me, wishing me to seek an audience with you, and say that although we understand that you do not wish us to join the war, you offered your aid to us when we need it, and we wish to do the same. The Grand Vizier stands firm in saying that if a war is to come, we would prefer to fight alongside the Qing if the British do invade.
Okay. It's gonna be tough for you because, as I said, they will probably cut our supplies from my armies I will send to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are willing to pay this price, you're more than welcome.
We can work on modernizing our military a bit more, but I mean we do have a significant military. I mean we are very advanced. Certainly not like the British, but not far from it, I would say. I mean in many ways. Actually, let me look. Do they have trench infantry? Oh yeah. Okay, we would really struggle with them. But regardless, we do stand firm and would wish to fight alongside you.
Okay, great. I need to see if the British Raj will join too. But
are they still rebellious? Last I heard, I know that the governor's a reformer, but I did not realize he actually intended to seek independence.
You probably wanna stock some money, I think, in case our market is really disrupted.
We have 7 million in the gold reserves at present, so that will be no
that's
issue.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I will do as well, expand arm production, and then when I am ready, I will let you inform.
Very well. As I said, we stand ready to fight alongside you. Simply send the message, and the forces of Iran will stand ready to fight alongside you.
It's very welcome, thank you.
And thank you. They may not get invaded because the British player isn't showing up today, but if they do, we're going to fight with them. The British have way more modern troops. We would struggle to fight that. We would. It'd be rough, but we might succeed. Turn the music up a bit. Okay, so as I said, at the end of the last time, we worked primarily on the economy. We're in good shape. I was going to have the YouTube video out today. I didn't. It'll be out tomorrow. It's a little bit late. I apologize. There was a lot that I did last week, and I just didn't have the time to get through all of it. But last time, we at the end of things, really developed our economy. We're very strong economically. Our quality of life is massive. It is very, very high. We're not a bad place to live in. We have the highest standard of living in the Middle East. Our economy just absolutely skyrocketed from last session. We are now one of the larger economies on the world. We're ranked 20th, and our economy is very high. It's above the Ottomans, it's above Egypt, it's above Japan, it's above Korea. We're right behind Mexico, Switzerland, and Socoto and Portugal. So our economy is absolutely booming, which is why a war really should be avoided if we can, but if not, it is what it is. What's up, Patrick? Getting close to the hot tub stream. Yeah. There is someone who actually got semi-close, and then I don't think he watches my streams anymore, so. Whew, saved. No, we never got the True Seal States. RP-wise, we own the True Seal States. We were given that by Britain, but the GC never transferred that territory to us, so. No, we don't. If they're independent, no, they're independent. We can actually just take them. We're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna do a little, I don't even need to write a diplomatic post. That should be ours, so. States. Reason was made in a deal a long time ago. Save edits, never done. My God, that's way too loud. Apologies. I put up the volume when it was a lot lower. So yeah, let's we'll go ahead and conquer them. As I said, that should already have been ours. Mohammad Shah is going to lead his men. He is very old. He is an opium addict. Yeah, he's got a white beard and everything now. Look at that. He is 65 years old. He's very disliked. He's an opium addict, but he has always been a warlike man, and he is gonna get himself out of his opium stupor enough to lead his men one more time. Though if we have to fight the British, he'll do it again. So. He is detoxing right now. He's trying to get off opium a little bit. He's not doing a very good job, but diplomatic situation? What do you mean? Let's go ahead and get another commander too. Neither of these guys are really good. He's all right. We'll go over to Halil. I guess saying that right. We'll get him to defend this front. And then I will recruit one more out of the Persian HQ. We'll go for Bahram Khan. He is innovative and an explorer. And we'll get him to defend the northern fronts. This should be really easy, but we'll do this now. Might need those later. Allies and Arch Nemesis. In this game, oh man, that'd take me like 10 minutes. The short version of it is we used to be enemies with Russia, and we used to be friends with Britain and France. Due to political stuff, we're now very hostile with Britain. They try to invade us. We reconciled a little bit with Russia. We're in the trade sphere and very close allies with the Qing. We're hostile to the Ottomans due to we were friendly with them at the start of the game, and we're friendly with the Germans. The French we have a neutral relationship with. They broke their promises to defend us at one point, but they kind of, I don't know, they're still keeping a friendly-ish stance with us, so... Yeah, politics in this game have just gone all over the place. It's been very chaotic. We're getting a lot more opium. We need art. We'll build a couple of those. The capital. We'll build an art industry. We can afford it. We're really wealthy. We have a high standard of living. Let's build up some more groceries too. And then we're going to work. Can we make tea? We can. There we go. Work on those economically. They might just back down in this war, to be honest. We'll see. Yeah, art's very valuable. There's a huge demand for it in both Iran and in the Qing, and no one is making it. So we'll make a fortune. We'll have a lot of really wealthy aristocrats be born out of that. So that's definitely cool. We'll definitely work with that immediately. So Limpari. Also, we used to be great friends with the Raj, but they're trying to encroach on the opium trade. They are. We have a love-hate relationship with them. They have a really, really popular reformer leader, Augustus Markham. He is loved. I've never seen a leader that's liked in Vicky 3. He's got 110. He is an experienced diplomat, a demagogue, and charismatic, so people love him, and he's a reformer. So he's made the Raj a lot more egalitarian, and as such, he doesn't really like the British, because they're bad news. We got ironclads. Good. Uh-oh. There we go. We'll go for repeaters next. Actually, which one is it for? One of these gives the better one. Trench works. How the fuck did the British get to that so quickly? That's just insane. 1873. Okay. Need more convoys. We'll get to that when we can. God, not playing with the mod that we use is just so fucking painful. Ham, we should do the presidential republic since the people hate the Shah and the Grand Vizier. No, they're so entrenched in power, there's just no way. If you look at our political clout of the parties, the landowners are just so fucking powerful. And they've got the support of the armed forces. You're not going to break that. There's no way you're breaking that. Most groups are happy. The people who aren't are the intelligentsia who would want a democracy and the trade unions. But they're weak. They're really weak. They're not going to get their way. So no, like, the government is too strong right now. They're too entrenched. There's just no way. We built up a lot more opium plantations. A lot more. We have 62 now. We still can't provide enough opium to the Qing, though. The amount that is needed is just insane. And opium plantations are not the most valuable either. I mean, we're at that point economically, we want to pursue other stuff, too. So... Alright, we're pushing into the Trucial States. As I said, this war doesn't make any sense in the sense that we technically already own the Trucial States, so we'll just say this is a revolt of some sort, maybe. We're getting the land back. This should have been ours 2 sessions ago. We made a deal, I think it was even in the first session we played in, to take that land back, so... Reconciling a bit with the Russians. We'll do that for now. We have such a big surplus. Like, we still have over 6 million of gold reserves in the bank, so we're completely fine. These guys can just go on the offensive, frankly. There is support for protectionism, and there's yeah, so the intelligentsia, the trade unions, they want a presidential republic. They contribute to a total of 18% support of the political power of Iran. So, it says there's medium support, but not really. Not really.
Hello, Mr. Grand Vizier Mohammad Shah Qajar.
Greetings. I am, Mir Abdul Hassan. What can I do for you, Ambassador? Welcome to Tehran.
Thank you. Well, troubling news brings me here. There is talk that Russia and France are seeking to mobilize against the Ottoman Empire, which means that we probably looking at a war that is unmatched in its scale because the Austrian-Hungarians recently took the Ottomans as a protectorate, and we are in alliance with Austria, so we will probably able to join. I'm asking you, Grand Vizier, if you would be interested in opening a second front against Russia in that case.
I must say that if anything, we are hostile of the Ottomans. Although the Russians attempted a war with the British recently, they did it for land in Khiva. We have no respect for the Russians, but we have begun to at least reconcile and get on neutral relations with them. The Ottomans, however, we have no taste for it. Their Sultan promised us protection if the West or any other of the European countries invaded us, and when we were almost beset upon, he did nothing to protect us. We have no reason to protect the Ottoman Empire. We have great respect for Germany, but you must understand that we have none at all for the Ottomans.
I do understand. Then I at least ask you to, in a conflict like this, at least stay neutral. Not for the Ottomans, but for our relationship.
That we can do. We can most certainly stay neutral. I think that is exactly what we will do. Trade will continue to flow into German ports, assuming at some point you could change your tariff laws, which still make it so our traders struggle to trade with you, but...
Let me see. Let me check my tariff laws. 1 second.
You're still mercantilist.
Yeah, I can't change that. It's impossible. Doesn't let me. Game mechanics. I don't know.
I understand, but again, we'll continue to trade with you, and we're happy to stay neutral in this conflict. But yeah, we most certainly would not hate the Ottomans after what they have done.
I understand. I mean, simply said, man. Simply said, Grand Vizier, Germany is only concerned about Russia at this point, and we do not want to seek the Persians to be joining in, and would like create yet another front we had to fight in. We got a recent bold claim of Scandinavia that said we should return Schleswig-Holstein to the Danish people, which is outrageous.
I mean, again, the politics of Europe have clearly gotten quite out of hand. And as I said before, we will not support you in opening a front with Russia, but nor will we give them, or certainly not the Ottomans, any aid in this conflict. So, to make that abundantly clear, I'm sure you will be able to open. Well, no, the Egyptians are underneath the French now, are they not?
They are.
I'm afraid that you will have no choice but to push out from whence you are. Perhaps there are other Europeans who would be more interested. Again, we have great respect for you, but Ambassador, as you well know, my government will not be doing anything to support the Ottomans at this time. This period.
That is understood. Just to reiterate, my alliance is not seeking to start a preemptive war against Russia or France. We are just anticipating a strike from them at any point now.
I understand. And if they do enter this war, we will continue to trade and provide resources to you, as well as your allies. But beyond that, as I said, we cannot do anything to support the Ottomans after what they've done.
Understood. That is agreeable. I mean, it's a
if anything, we would consider going against them. But seeing as you will be fighting alongside your allies and them, we will stay out of it then. As again, we do prioritize our relationship with Germany, of course.
That is good to hear. That is good to hear. As long as the trade flows and is open, the opium is really needed in Germany. I gotta say, and as long as
I understand.
Open,
and again, we would be able to export a lot of that to you, but unfortunately, the tariffs that you have placed upon our traders are just too much at present.
I understand. Yeah,
I could not make them trade with you if I put a gun to their head.
I understand, man. I understand. The lawmakers in the parliament. There's some people opposing changing from mechanism. They're stuck in the past. So
we know all about those who oppose change here in Iran. We have been dealing with them for decades now. It stops much progress. I spent my whole life working against it, and little can be done. People, they get set in their ways, you know.
It does, yeah. Maybe I should start and speak, a word of strength in the parliament as a Kaiser, but I'm not sure if that will help anything. I will try.
Do as you can.
All right, it was good speaking to you. It's good to know that the Persians are respecting our relationship and will not put it into jeopardy.
But certainly not.
And yeah, I wish you good luck in your endeavors.
And you as well. If it does come to a war, we hope the German people are successful, as the loss of life will be cataclysmic.
Yeah, that war will be certainly something that the world has never seen before. The war to end all wars. Maybe.
I hope not. There's always the option for diplomacy, remember that, Ambassador.
It is. There is. We are trying everything, but well, Russians and French, you know how they are, or can be.
Oh, we know very well. We have been a piece in their bickering for generations.
I understand. Oh, I'm seeing you're doing with a revolt right now.
We have had some few Turkish tribes rise up in Kiva. It is no matter. They will be dealt with promptly. I can assure you.
I hope so. I hope you're not in trouble or anything. Same in Hijaz right now. Seems like the age of the spring, or the spring revolutions came to the Middle East.
I wouldn't put it that far. These are upstart tribes. They're nothing more. We'll give them a good show of force, and they'll go crawl back into their holes.
I hope so, because I'm interested in. I'm concerned about the stability of Persia.
I can assure you that we are more stable than we have been in quite some time. Our coffers are rich due to our friends such as you in Europe. Our economy grows at a precipitous rate. The people, although again the tribesmen may be unhappy, many of them we have pushed into plantations and factories, and it's not their way of life, but they'll learn to adapt.
That's good to hear. I hope for you that stays true.
We are confident it will.
Good to hear. Oh, seems to be there's a scandal going on right now in my government. Oh well.
I'm sure. I hope it will be handled.
Oh yeah, the guy just stepped down. It was a devote. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into details that would be used against us maybe. Well,
we are your friends, but you also don't need to air your dirty laundry before us. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah. My son has dangerous ideas in the age of 6.
Your son?
My son, yes.
The Kaiser's son. What is wrong with the Kaiser's son?
He's only 6 years old, but he says dangerous ideas already. He advocates this weird ideology called communism, which is
communism.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I've heard of it. News has traveled out here. Some extreme ideology, I imagine. A 6-year-old with extreme politics. What are you teaching? What is the Kaiser teaching his son?
Apparently not enough. Maybe he needs to be beat more with the stick more, but I'm not sure. You know.
We don't spare the rod here. I can tell you that. Makes for weak children.
You know, I was trying to teach him without the rod, but apparently.
Nonsense. You'll have nothing but a weak child.
I understand. Yeah. I mean, that my child with 6 years old is already supporting this ideology seems to be. Hell, he shouldn't even be interested in politics right now. He should be playing with the. You know, he should be playing soldier. With the other kids.
He is. Just not with an ideology that you would prefer.
Oh, that man! I think I need to. I think I need to deal with him right now. I see him going outside playing with the children, and he has like a red banner on his.
I'll let you take your leave. It was good. It was good speaking with you. And remember, beat the child. They'll be stronger for it. They'll thank you when they're older.
Yeah, I will do as my best, Grand Vizier. Hans, bring it stock. Sorry, never mind.
No. By all means. Farewell.
Goodbye. Bye.
He's learning to parent better. That's good. Hey, we don't weak children in this time period. Yeah, so his area is communist because leaders have ideology in this game, and his 6-year-old son, the Kaiser's son, is a communist. I don't think we can see him, but yeah. 6-year-old communist. Yeah, apparently they were a thing back then too. He is still he's not a junkie anymore. It's a new one, Zodi. It's a new one. The junkie one is dead. All right, we just had a revolt in Kiva. Now, this would have been really bad if we hadn't reconciled with the Russians. They would have used this as an opportunity against us, but thankfully we have reconciled a little bit with them. How do you make troops in Vicky 3? You build buildings. You build buildings and development barracks and naval bases. Then you set like the tech levels for what they are, and then in a war, you raise them up with commanders and put them on fronts. That's how you do. It's not like Hoi 4 style. I really like it. It's buggy. I don't like the bugs. I do really like the system. A lot of people don't. I personally really like it. But I know that is not the common sentiment. Alright, we're gonna build some more railways to get actual market access in Lorestan, Tabriz, and Turkmenia. Tabriz is a big part of our economy, and we need more rails there, which we're working on. How do we look? We need more ports for exports too. We could be exporting way more. Huge coal deficits. We'll get a bunch of coal. Coal will makes all of our industry move in the Qing and in Iran. We can't have a deficit of that, so we're gonna work on getting more. Good. These upstart peasants have nothing to contend us with, unsurprisingly. I can see the clip on Twitter. Streamer says to beat your kids. Cancelled. Block them. Spare the rod, spare the child. Not in reality. This is an RP game. Beating children is bad and gives them psychological issues. Modern science knows this very well. However, it's 1874. Thank you. I'm new to Vic 3. I just got on playing South Africa, the RP right now. Yeah, for sure. It's not too hard. It's very simple. Now, in reality, beating children is really bad. Very, very bad psychologically. The amount of resources the Qing lack is kind of crazy. The governmental buildings, we'll get the railways built up, and then we'll go for all the coal mines. The rebels are being dispatched easily enough. They are not that strong. We're handling them no problem. If anything, this is a chance just to trade our military. And the Shah's getting out a bit more too. He's not quite in the opium drug coma that he's been in up until now. As much, at least. Still a little bit. Oh yeah, you gotta build it up. I'll never know. How did the Qing survive the Western powers? Because the Qing focused heavily on their military. They have a really big fleet, and they have a massive army. And Britain was suffering civil wars for decades, so Europe just never really went in on them too early, and they built up. European powers could still maybe beat the Qing, but it'd be rough. Britain was planning a war to get treaty ports with them, but then they had a civil war, so they weren't able to do that. So they've just had the time to build up. Simple as that. Yeah. Yeah, they did. I mean, it was easier given that they weren't like attacked by Britain, but the fear of the attack allowed them to change a little bit. They're a little bit more of a modernizer. Nothing crazy, but a little bit more. Yeah, there's demand for everything right now. We could definitely make some more art buildings. Those are so valuable. How many do we need to make realistically? Like, oh man, we could make like 10 of these things. Make a bunch. We're going to be producing a ton of art. This is going to become a time of an artistic renaissance in Iran, as economic prosperity, cooperation with the Qing's market, and desire for art both here, because we have many rich people, our upper class is incredibly affluent, as well as in China. Is oh man, look at the quality of life in China versus us. The quality of life in Yemen is insane. What is it? Oh my god. The quality of life for poor people in Yemen is 23.7. The wealthy live at a standard of 44. So all this coffee plantations. How the hell did that happen? Wow. No, the Hijaz is not under anyone, actually. Not at present. We're gonna wait to go in on it until potentially that big world war happens. When the world war happens, we'll probably go after Hijaz, and we'll look around and see what we can get away with. There's just a big world war about to happen, and we don't want to get on anyone's bad side up until then. So we want to be a little bit careful here. Good. Almost done. We're routing them. We have them completely surrounded. There we go. Large number of Assyrian people are migrating to France. Oh yeah, because they're from the Ottoman Empire. Or maybe Syria. It's hard, yeah, but extremely fun once you get into it. I missed a comment. I apologize for that. Is it this hard game to learn? Playing other Paradox games, but wasn't any good. They're really, you got to get an understanding for it. And like, some people will tell you they're easy. They're not. So what I like to say is that there are many people, both in terms of YouTube videos and people who will offer to teach you, who will try and just throw every piece of fucking knowledge about this game. And there's some people who will try and learn Paradox games like, I need to learn everything at the start. No, you don't. If you approach these games from the perspective that I just need to learn the basics so that I enjoy the game and then I can learn from there, it's not that bad. But Paradox players who are very culty and hardcore will tell you you have to learn everything at the start. You don't. YouTubers will try and force 100 pieces of information down your throat that you don't need, which you shouldn't take. But if you try and learn the basics of the game, it is doable. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's easier than learning a game like chess. It's harder than learning a game like Call of Duty, right? It requires understanding and it takes some time, but it's very doable. It is very, very doable. Just find the right resources and don't try and learn everything at once. Just learn the basics of these games. Vicky 3 is very learnable. It'll take you hours to get a hang of it. It will, but it's worth it. They're really, really fun games and it's doable. So don't let these games intimidate you because they look intimidating. And if you said you already tried them and you weren't too good, it takes a little bit, but it's worth it and it is doable. It's not easy though. Just approach it with the right perspective and find the right resources. My advice to you would be, use resources. Don't just play these games and learn them as you play. You can do that. That's what I did. That's what a lot of, I think, Paradox players did. But use the resources you have. Paradox put out a tutorial series for Vicky 3. It's okay. It's the best I've seen because they don't try and overburden you. So I'd say check out the PDX tutorial series for Vicky 3. It's very simple, but that's a good thing, I'd say. So be my advice to you. If that answers your question. Nude folders is good. Is good. Nice name. All right, cool. We beat the rebels in Kiva. We're finishing up the railroads in Tabriz and in Luristan. And then we're going to get to work on these coal mines. This last session, I really just want to see how good we can get our economy, to be honest. I mean, we'll adapt to any RP that we want to do, but our main focus at the end is the economy, because the industrialists have a lot of power. The Grand Vizier is focusing on modernization. We have an untold opportunity being in the Qing's market, so we're really just trying to build economic prosperity here, of which the Grand Vizier and the Shah alike, of course, take a very large chunk for themselves, but that's only natural. Yeah, no, we wouldn't change any of these. We'll keep it how it is. If we threw the armed forces out of power, we'd have even more power, but no, we need them. The threat of an invasion is always still relevant to us, so. It's really fun not knowing shit. Yeah, if you approached Paradox games from the right way, which is just kind of like, it's tough, but in the fun kind of way, it's really enjoyable to start off with. Victory tutorial, if you aren't losing a fuck ton of money, something is wrong. Yeah, true. Yes, Afghanistan is still a protectorate of the United Kingdom. Somehow, they are still a protectorate. The United Kingdom just shattered into a million pieces, but they somehow kept Afghanistan. Which do you reckon is the easiest major paradox game to learn? Stellaris for me. That Fish is right. Stellaris is pretty easy to learn. It looks also very intimidating, but it's really not. Like I think I taught Jay the basics of how to play it the other night, and that took me probably 30 minutes. He's not an expert at the game by any means, but he can play it and it's enjoyable. I'd probably say CK3, to be honest. Yeah, CK3. Like, CK3 gets very complicated. There's, as with any Paradox game, there's a lot of complicated features in it. One second. Many furniture manufacturers in Lars have seen an increase in workplace injuries due to increased mechanization. We are the landowners. We are the aristocrats. We would not care. But CK3 has a lot of complex mechanics. You don't have to use them or know them to still have fun. So I'd say CK3. Vic is the second easiest. No, I'd say Stellaris is the second easiest. The third easiest is probably Vicky 3, followed by Hoi 4, followed by EU4. EU4 is the hardest game to learn, period. Changed my mind. It's not in its original form. I bought it when it came out. Original EU4 wasn't that complicated, but they've just stacked, like, what is it, like 50 DLCs now or something on it? It's gotten very complicated. Vicky 3 is the easiest of all the Paradox games. I disagree. I think it's very unintuitive to begin with for many people, and there's a higher learning curve, but it flattens out a lot quicker. So no, I'd say it's the third easiest. Stellaris is easier to learn the basics of, in my opinion, because I think it's more natural for many people if you've used things like mana points and resources in games before. And CK3 is just overall very easy, because it's an RPG, right? It's an RPG with a strategy skin thrown on top. So I think it's much more intuitive and easy to play and understand for many people, in my opinion. Yeah. Not only did I uninstall EU4, I literally put it in my hidden games. Jesus, man. I like EU4. I don't like it enough to play it over other Paradox games, but I do like it. I've retired it from my library as well. I didn't hide it like you did, but I've just basically, it doesn't interest me much anymore. Ironically, I think I used to have more hours than I had in any other game, Paradox game in EU4. I don't anymore. I have more in Hoi 4. All right, coal mines, coal mines, coal mines. Groceries are still very expensive in our territories. We need more of those. We'll do that. Groceries increase quality of life. They're way better to eat than like basic grains or fish, so they are always preferable. I'm not producing much hardwood, but it's not needed. No, we're looking really good here. As long as we can keep this economy moving, we're looking really good. I think EU4 feels more like a video game than a historical game. How do you mean, Commander? You played it last time in the Bengal RP. Yeah, it's been a minute. I did enjoy that game. Don't get me wrong. I got bored of it for two reasons. A, all the players in Asia left, so I was all alone in a multiplayer game, so I couldn't go to the speed I wanted. And B, I just reached a certain point where I kind of lost interest in EU4. Like, I will play EU4 in the future probably only in grand campaigns until EU5 comes out, of course. So, like, if I'm going to be honest, I don't foresee myself playing EU4 really in the future besides in the grand campaigns that we do, mega campaigns. I may join another Ambinar game one day. It's not very high on my to-do list, though, so we'll see. EU4 terrifies you? Yeah, that's fair. EU4 would be like click dev button because it's OP as shit. Yeah, it's so easy to metagame, but all the Paradox games are to varying degrees. Seems like at the end of the game there are like 5 big countries. Yep. The AI is pretty uninteresting. It's very painty. Most of the games are, but still. Oh, look at that economic growth. Here we go. Our GDP is now 16th. Take off my jacket too. It's warming up a little bit. Tiny bit. It's been really cold lately. I've been wearing jackets constantly. It is wintertime. It's always in January in Ohio when things get cold. Dolphin knows if he's still here. If Dolphin's watching, he knows. He lives in Ohio too. He knows the pain of January. Haven't had snow yet though. Oh yes, Ohio. Ohio. I am really curious to see if we are going to get a major war here. Kind of hope we do. Be interesting to watch. And we profit off of it. Hootie gang. Dolphin, you know what's up, man. Damn right. Damn right, brother. The Congress of Europe? Nope. What's going on? Well, we gotta wait. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. Fuck jackets. Man, I got a good hoodie. I got a really good hoodie. I've worn it a few times on the stream, but I don't because like it's a pain in the ass to take off versus this one, which isn't. I got a really nice like this like burgundy red hoodie from a university, which I won't go into details on for many reasons. But yeah, I got a good hoodie. I still think the war in this stuff lacks good ideas, though, but the economy and diplo simulation works all right. Yeah, it's really good. War just needs to get bug fixed, and it needs to get expanded upon. The core system's great. In practice, it is buggy as fuck. I understand why many people are upset about the war system. I think for most people, it's not that they hate the system, it's they hate that it was delivered so poorly. And it was. It wasn't even the mechanics of it were really bad. It was just buggy as shit. And I get Paradox has a timetable and their corporate board, I'm sure, just rushed the game out too early, which is what tends to happen nowadays. But like, they needed to wait and they needed to fix, and they didn't. And that's why people are upset, and I get that. I just don't like when people are like, oh, the system's bad. It's like, no, hold on. Just because they released a horribly buggy system doesn't mean the system's bad. It's not. It's a good system. It's just, it was not released properly, and it was not ready to be released. You know. All right, we're running low on fabric and dyes. That's a problem. Let's fix that. Let's contend Egyptian cotton a bit, and then we'll build some more dyes and chorus on. Burgundy, yeah, the color. I wish I could expand into the decentralization counties, but it doesn't allow me to. You have to colonize them, Fury. And if you colonize decentralized countries, you'll get an event where you go to war with them, and then you annex all of them. Click players and outliner for a minute. Oh, fuck. Okay, how do I add something to the outliner? There it is. You can actually see all of them. I'll leave it like that for a little while. I'm going to get rid of it because it's annoying, but for now I'll leave it there. Look at all these high GDP regions, and then us all the way down here in Tabriz. We still don't have enough market access there, do we? That's killing us. This should give us... This should give us more infrastructure. Perhaps not. That's our #1 priority. That's more important than anything else we're doing right now. What is going on? Engines are overtly expensive. We're subsidizing it, so even when we're done with that, we should also build some more engines. Not too bad, but we do need more for sure. Number 300. We'll make 7 of them. But yeah, that's the player list. I really hate that you can't target the attacks. I think there should be a little bit more control, but I don't want to see a Hoi 4 system in Vic, that's for sure. Make Persia not fall to a theocracy. No, we're fine. We're not going to a theocracy. It's going to be the Shadam. How do you get colonial growth? You need to go to your politics, you need to go to laws, and you need to pass a colonial affairs law. These allow you to colonize right here. Either one do. Colonial exploitation goes quicker, but colonial oversettlement is normally easier to pass. Yep. Problems? No, it's just we just need more railways there. Simple as that. We just need more railways. Period.
Πιστεύεις στην ειρήνη και όμως πολεμάς για ένα καθαρό μέλλον με ενέργεια που παράγεται στην Ευρώπη.
That's from the Vicky 3 soundtrack. What the fuck? Playing a YouTube playlist with the... That's not an ad. That was in the songs. Fucking weird. Alright. Let's see. How close are we on the railways? Oh, so what's our trading situation like? Now, we built up a lot of economic power through trade. Let's look at that again. Let's say we wanted to export some small arms. Oh, we have small arms available. Surprised more of them haven't been upgraded. We do need more ports, though. I mean, there's a lot more resources we could be importing and exporting into the Qing's economy. I mean, if you look at our buildings, we have a trade center that's 111. Now, that's a rookie number. We could bump that way the hell up, but we need more ports. It's very profitable, too. Very profitable indeed. You're being haunted by a French ghost, apparently. Target, like, focus on capture that state, not the way to go around the capital. Yeah, okay, yeah. I agree with you on that, Limpari. I agree, definitely. Why are we in the Chinese market? Oh, man, that was a whole thing. What happened was, okay, we had tried to work with the French and the British since the beginning of the game. Last session, what happened was the British had just had travesty after travesty, and they were done with us. They're like, you've been edging us along, because we'd basically like made vague promises of joining their market or cooperating with the British the whole game, and we never did, because I wanted us to play the West off each other, which we did for a while. They were like, all right, we're done with this shit, and they were preparing a war of the Russians to invade us. We were going to get puppeted, and Russia was going to get Khiva back. We managed to find protection in the Qing. We cooperated with the Qing. They'd been asking to work with us for a long time. They'd wanted us to cooperate with them since really the beginning of the game, and we said no. But of everyone who had promised to help us, no one did. The only people who did were the Qing. So now we're working with the East exclusively, the Qing. We're trading with Europe, but we're in the Qing's market, and we're allied with the Qing now very closely. They were the only ones that saved us from getting basically cut up and given off to European powers. So, and although they're not super modern, their army is huge, and it is modern enough it would be a major problem for a European power to fight them. Last I checked, let's look. Yeah, so like it's not trench warfare, but they've got skirmish infantry, they got shrapnel artillery, they've got first aid. So their army would do a pretty good job of fighting a European power. So that's why we got to our present circumstance. It's been an interesting game. This is the last session. I had hoped we'd go on longer, but there were a few issues, so we're starting a new one next week. That's why I'm not gonna like really go aggressive for RP today. I'd prefer more just to coast along, work on our economy and stuff like that. Not the most exciting thing ever, but I really do enjoy the aspect of Vicky 3, to be honest. And I think it's a good way to end things today. And for the next game of Vicky 3, I've requested, in order of preference, Prussia, the Ottomans, Brazil, Spain, and Mexico for next Sunday's new Vic RP game. So just heads up about that. I'm hoping we get Prussia, but we'll see. Japan or Korea next? Maybe in the future. I did a poll on my YouTube channel about the next country, and Prussia and the Ottomans were really popular. I've been doing a lot of polls on there lately to decide countries. Yep, new one next week. Oh, what's up, Lily? Good to see you. I'm surprised you haven't moved your capital back to Jingzi. What the fuck is Jingzi? Did Iran control that? I know they attacked the Chinese at one point. They got into the western region. Western Guangxi? I'm guessing that's like where they invaded in northwest China, right? No. No, it's not. It's down here. What do you mean Jingxi? This is something I don't understand. Oh, it's the most popular state in China. No, this isn't Vicky 2, and I'm not Spud Gun, so no, you won't see me cheesing. I'll move over the holidays and I'm generally super busy. Would love to get into some RP. Hell yeah, man. There's a new game next Sunday. You're welcome to sign up for that. That being said, Dolphin, I also want to do a Japan game. I was playing a bit of it last night in single player. I just played a bit by myself because I couldn't stop myself. I've been really enjoying the mod that we made, the Babylon Roleplay mod, and I was playing some as Japan. And yeah, I want to do a game of it. I prefer doing an RP game though. So maybe after the next one, the one after the next one. We'll see. All right, we need more dockyards. We need more everything. Fuck it, we're building more construction sectors. We can afford it. We've got the surplus for it. We're making shitloads of money, and I'm not going to question why. Never question where the money comes from. What's up, Note? I could feel your nationalistic fervor today as we looked across the expanse of Finnish Eastern Europe in the mega campaign. I could feel your nationalism. It was palpable. So Afghanistan on the Sunday one. Nice, that's a good one. If you did Mexico, would you be friendly with America? Yes, I would try to. We'd stand firm on our territory. We'd give some concessions, but I'd love to do an RP game where Mexico and the United States cooperate instead of being hostile. I think that'd be interesting. If the player goes hostile though, we'll go where we could. I think Mexico, if done well in one of these RP games, would be really, really, really fun. They're also really strong in Vicky 3. I don't think they should be as strong as they are. The gold minting you get is broken, and they haven't patched it. So, you're a little strong. To be fair, Mexico has always had a plethora of natural resources, especially when they controlled the regions that now the America owns north of the Rio Grande, but I still think it's a little much, to be honest. So, little much. Your Finnish blood loves seeing the expansion of the Finnish people. I am very aware of that. It was, as I said, palpable. I'm thinking about going for Landfang. They're interesting. Someone's already requested that. I don't know if that was you or not. But this means I have a sword in everyone's side, and I don't manage to unify Borneo. I might as well AFK and do nothing. That's true. Well, you just can't fuck up, right? You can't fuck up. It's not an option. Go big or go home. That can be fun. I like dangerous gameplay, especially in multiplayer games. Makes it interesting. Yes, what's up, Ezio? Ezio? Oh, God. Names. How's it going? Yeah, we are in the chicken market. I just explained it. What happened was basically we were about to be partitioned by Russian United Kingdom. The players were about to partition us. All of our supposed allies in Europe, including the French and the Ottomans, refused to come to our aid. The only one who continued to offer support, which they had done since the start of the game, were the Qing. And we agreed. In exchange, we joined their market. And they saved us from being partitioned by the Russians and the United Kingdom. So, what's the culture map looking like? Fang. There's a lot of Fang culture in the Trucial states. Also Azerbaijani, lots of Persian, doesn't like to stay on the screen. Turkmen in the north, Baluchi. Persian is very strong. Got that Bantu as well. Turkmen. I mean, the easier way to look at this would just be this, huh? Persian and Azerbaijani. There's a lot of Azerbaijanis. When the Russians cored this region, like a ton of them migrated to our territory. So we got a bunch of those in migration. Baluchi, Turkmen, Kurdish, Bedouin, Pashtun, Bantu, and Northern Caucasian are the main ones. Uzbek Fang is on day. Mainly Persian and Azerbaijani. And a lot of Baluchis too, actually. Larstan, Isfahan both need more railways. And then we had one other, what was it? Loristan, Mazandaran needs one as well. You're in a civil war. Yeah, you are. God damn, what's going on in South Africa? Radical South Africa. How are they radical? A republic. They have a state religion. Religious schools. Oh, that's like a religious democracy that you're fighting. That's interesting. Our politics are super fucking stagnant. The Shah and the Grand Vizier have total power in the country. It's very simple. We're not reforming at all anymore. We're sitting on what we've got. And we're just continuing to develop the economy. Most of our country is very happy. Even the intelligentsia are neutral now. They don't hate our government because the economy is going so well. I mean, look at our quality of life. Our quality of life is so fucking high. I mean, people hate the fucking Shah. He's really unpopular. But the Grand Vizier and the Shah are making quality of life really high in Iran. So it's like people hate him, but they're like, well, he's a dick. He's high on opium all the time, but things aren't too bad if we're gonna be honest. Things could be much worse, so. People kind of just, I guess, they're accepting things as they are. So we're politically super stagnant, but economically, we're in quality of life, we're really improving. A group of respectable musical composers teaching at the Arts Academy in Irakajimi have approached us. They have drawn attention to the alarming lack of proper national anthem to invigorate our people's spirits. Land of fighting, impossible surrender, always threatening the offender. Hence, our steps lead the way to drive our enemies far away. Oh, we got prestige, nice. Can't say no to that. Our heir. Where do you see an heir again? I know there's a way to. I think it's an yeah, there he is. Heir apparent. Nazir al-Din Qajar. He's actually not disliked. He's imperious. He's a demagogue. He's an explorer and he's an expert political operator. He is really competent. This guy is 44 also. He's pretty old. This guy's great. He's traditionalist though, but he'd be very popular. He's also going to be a very competent leader. I'd say at this point, he's also probably helping the Grand Vizier out a lot. I'm sure they work together all the time. He does a lot of the politics for his father because he's, you know, he's just very involved. Not the nicest guy if you're not Persian, but he's very competent. Very much a leader. Show rankings, yeah, sure. In terms of direct rankings, we are 19th. France, Great Britain, Austria-Hungary, Russia, Germany, Spain, United States, the Qing, the Raj, the Ottomans, Belgium, Portugal, and Italy, which is the Kingdom of Heaven because the Pope founded it. In terms of GDP ranking, we are much higher. We are... I'm not too sure, but I think I'd say maybe 15th or 16th on this. France's GDP is massive. Austria-Hungary's follows. Britain's well behind. They had all the civil wars. Qing is way up there. Russia, Germany, Spain. In terms of standard of living, we're pretty high up there. Switzerland has got 27.1. They are ridiculous. Austria-Hungary has 22.8. Belgium 22.3. Spain 22.1. France 21.7. We're not too far behind. I mean, we're actually, there's a higher quality of life in Iran right now than in Germany. So we're not doing too bad. I can tell you that. Population-wise, we're pretty high up there too. Yeah. No, the US aren't doing too well this game. They never got their old lands back from Mexico, so. There's a Council of the European Union going on. Oh, Council of Vienna.
I am sorry, my German brothers, but I cannot withstand this conference about me without ever speaking. Is the French position that we should lay down our arms and therefore there shall be no peace? And that we shall surely just trust the French to honor their word on this?
We, as we stated before, have no intention of going to war with either of your nations, and we ourselves have not even mobilized to any high degree, only a very, very minor mobilization in response to the both of you mobilizing. We will, of course, immediately demobilize these armies once this matter is resolved, and that is simply just to go back to maintaining the previous levels of military that we had in our nation.
Sounds like there might be the war happening.
I believe that Well, speaking on the Alsace-Lorraine issue again,
Alsace-Lorraine.
Germany seeks a diplomatic resolution to this.
They're
perhaps
demanding
with France
Alsace-Lorraine.
in the future. We do not wish for war. We know very well what such war would entail. This war would be such a very big loss for. I think we lost Austria. I think he lagged out. Yeah. And I believe that such a war would be devastating to the whole of Europe. I think we can all agree on this. This is why we do not seek a war against France or Russia or both. But like I said, if it is forced upon us, then of course we will fight it. But seeing as the French and the Russians are willing to de-escalate the situation, we are willing so as well. And about Alsace-Lorraine, we will find a different time and agreement and talks with the French, I believe, to handle this issue. Another thing I want to really quickly point out here is the claim that the newly formed state of Scandinavia did to us. We got recently approached by them with a telegram that stated that Germany was decades ago making a deal with the Danish people about the protection against, I believe, Sweden. And the issue with that is they claim now that Schleswig-Holstein should go back to Denmark, and well, of course, that would mean to the Scandinavians right now. I think it goes without saying that Germany is wholeheartedly rejecting this with all its heart. So I believe that this is something that is a non-starter, because Schleswig-Holstein is a German state for decades now, and always has been a German state, with 98% of North Germans living there, and only 0.45% of Danish people. I believe that it would be wrong to cede that province to the Scandinavians right now. That's another issue I wanted to touch on and briefly speak about. Thank you.
I don't think so. Let me look. No formables.
Does Scandinavia wish to answer on that topic?
I think Scandinavia, they're demanding Schleswig-Holstein is what's happening, and the Germans want Alsace-Lorraine. So there's maybe a big war about to happen.
Yes. Sorry.
Greetings, Council. First of all, we'd like to thank the German representative for his very staunch political answer. We appreciate it, and we appreciate his reply to our telegram also. We can only do what we can to represent all the peoples of our nation, and currently the Danish part of the new Scandinavian Republic feel slightly cheated, as the contract was it was a written contract between the Danish people and the German Empire. We appreciate the fact that most of Schleswig-Holstein is obviously now occupied by Germans, as it has been under their occupation for decades now. It is appreciated. But to potentially quell and appease the Danish people of our nation, might Germany be able to remunerate them in some other kind of way? Would that be a possible deal that we could potentially make? Thank you. That's all we have to say.
We do not see anything in relation to making deals and any concessions to the Danish people and to the Scandinavian Republic right now. So we simply reject this.
We find this a shame that the great German Kaiser cannot stick to deals, considering it was even written and signed by himself. But obviously, there was nothing we can do about the matter. We're obviously not a major power. We can only ask, and we have. And we thank you all for your time. Appreciate it.
I want to briefly touch upon the written deal. We upholded the deal with the Danish people. I think you see that in the logs there, and I think it was even be done. We betrayed the Swedish with the deal, and the Swedish deal wasn't written out. The deal that was written out was with the Danish. Just to clarify that.
Understood, but at the same time, the new Scandinavian Republic also represents the Danish people within this matter.
But I'm simply asking, why will the Danish people be upset because we upholded the part of our deal? Wouldn't it be the Swedish people be upset?
The Danish people feel that they would still be independent if Germany had upheld part of the deal.
Huh.
Perhaps the matter is also that Scandinavia is a federal republic of which Denmark is a constituent part.
Yeah, understood. And like we say, we can only speak for and represent the people in the best way we can. We understand it's a weird situation, quite a strange one. But like I say, I'm here only to speak for them, and that's the best I can do. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
We get a war or not? Can't tell.
I think this is also being dealt with then. The German position is of course not changing. Schleswig-Holstein is German, will remain German, as well as a Slovene is rightfully German and hopefully will become German in the future as well.
We appreciate your stance, and we'll take that back to the Danish representatives. Thank you.
The Scandinavians are in no position to fight
No
the
problem.
Germans. They would get
I believe
rolled.
that's all. No.
They have
No
agreements with the
issues have
French
been
and
raised.
the Russians, though. Oh
And
boy,
such circumstances, this Council of
we're getting
Vienna
World
is
War
finished.
One for sure.
Thank you all.
So what has happened is Scandinavia is contending Schleswig-Holstein. Germany is contending Alsace-Lorraine. The French and the Russians want to take pieces of the Ottomans. The Ottomans are a protectorate of Austria-Hungary, and Austria-Hungary is allied to Germany. Does anyone see a domino effect that resulted in World War I currently in this game? Because I sure as fuck do. My God. There's no way the peace lasts. Someone will do something, because there's like 10 ways a world war can happen right now. The question is which one will do it. Whew. More construction, more debt. Yeah, definitely. We can ramp up at this point. I agree with you. My only worry is that we just like run out of people at this point. I don't know how we still have a surplus. That's crazy. Get rid of the porcelain tax. We'll get rid of the opium tax. You know, we want to keep that so people don't use it. There we go. All right, we're in a better place now. Still not productive. Paper is expensive again. What is causing that? I thought we had a bunch. Floating harbor, making it even more ports. Go for steel frame buildings. Get modern buildings in our country. Alright, we only have a issue of access in Turkmenia and Irashkimi? Turkmenia? Mexico's in a civil war. Yes, they are. Oh my god. Revolutionary Mexico. They're also a presidential republic. They're an oligarchy of religious schools versus Mexico. No, they're also an oligarchy. What's the difference? Probably... I don't even know what the difference is here. The right of assembly is a different... It's a civil war over the right of assembly versus censorship in the government. Yep, no censorship. You're right. Oil discovered in forests. That's cool. Wait, the stuff is useless, but we got a lot of black stuff. We got a lot of black stuff coming out of the ground. I don't know. It lights on fire really cool, but it's useless. Who cares? Useless sticky black stuff. No. Not important. Your laws are pretty whack. economy is really starting to roll now. Let's build some more art too. Coffee I'd love to make more of. I don't think we can though. No, we're all out. Can we get more coffee from here? You could get more coffee from Hijaz. We'll let that civil war end. I really want to wait until the world war before we take Hijaz though, because otherwise we might get Egypt and the Ottomans getting upset. We're on pretty out of, we're not on good terms with them. Now take that out of context. That's anything you do in a Paradox game though. There we go, look at that deficit. Look at that deficit. That's how you build an economy. Let's blow our surplus. I want to keep around probably like I'd say 2 million surplus, so we'll stop when we get there. Because in case we do have to fight a war at some point with the Qing. We'll raise taxes to pay for the massive building projects we are undergoing right now. With Qing hold up? What do you mean? They're fighting off the U right now. They're reconquering the last of the rebellious states. Need more convoys. Need a lot more convoys. Finish all this stuff first, though. Well, I said if we have to fight a war with the Qing, because the Qing said that the British had discussed an invasion of them. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but they said we should remain ready for it if it does happen. It's like we're not going to see a war in Europe yet, though. Our economy is right behind the Swiss now. They've capped out on what they can do. We have not. We're still behind Sokoto in Canada, though. We got a monarchy. What the hell? William Villiers. That's odd. Backstab the Ottomans. The Ottomans are a protectorate of Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary is an ally of Germany. We would have to fight the Ottomans, Austria-Hungary, and Germany. That's something like 1,300 battalions. We have 60, so I don't think that would end well, I'm gonna be honest. As much as I would also like to screw over the Ottomans after their betrayal. The Ottoman army alone is 300, so yes, theirs is 3 to 4 times bigger than ours. They'd also have them, which is 700, and them, which is almost 500, so yeah. Not a wise idea. Not a wise idea. Pretty slow here. Engines. Okay, we'll get some more of those. We really need a lot of lead. Lead and explosives. And of course, always dyes. Now we can solve some of these really quickly though. We would just need to do 5. No. Yeah, probably around 5. Probably because we have so much fucking fertilizer. Fertilizer is just so useless. More sulfur would help. We'll get a little bit more sulfur. Let's pick up some lead. 5 of those. Yeah, we're starting to run out of people here. We're still getting migration, it's just very slow. We're not getting any immigration from China. I bet they went close borders. Migration controls. Yep. That's why we're not getting lots of more Chinese folks coming in. At a fair between Halil King Grilly and Masoud Al-Amir's spouse has reached our ears, threatening to affect his public image if we don't destitute the general. I just fell on her, I swear. Well, you got syphilis, bud, so I don't know about that. We'll say Masoud Al-Amir sat on the wrong toilet. He's a good general, so we're... No, he's got syphilis, though. No, we can't do that. We're gonna make him step down. He fucked one of our general's wife and got syphilis from her. We get threshing machines really easy. Let's go for that. We'll go for fertilizer as well. It's odd. Oh boy. Let's do it for a minute until our economy collapses. Hold on. Can we actually afford this? No, we don't have enough glass, so we don't have enough steel. Oh yeah, there it is. My god. We need so much fucking glass. No, Should I hit space? You can hit the space bar and pause the game in multiplayer. Thought I was in single player for a minute. Fuck. Let's build a bunch more here. We'll build this away. We'll need more sulfur too. You can ask China to open up their borders. We'd have to go be like, hey, do you mind if we let like all your people come to us? Which they're not going to want to do. So we'll make use of what we got. We still have really high population growth from the birth rate. Like, it's really high. Being able to get better hospitals would be really nice, but there's no popularity for it. What happens if we just put them in charge? Let's see what we could do with our laws. We're gonna push the military out and see if we can do anything with the landowners. Not really. Nope, nothing special. They really don't want any reform. We're just kind of stuck with what we got, really. How's the opium plantations going? They're going very well, kidding. What's up, man? Why not? It's not like China is lacking in peasants. Hate the landowners. Yeah, everyone hates the landowners. Who doesn't hate landowners? There's no way he would do that though. So we're not gonna even bother to ask. It wouldn't make sense for China to do that. China's very isolationist at this point anyway, so. No, they're going to China. But no one's coming to us. What are our laws like? We don't have migration controls. Oh, this is fucked up. So our people are able to go to China, but the Chinese people aren't able to come to us. Yeah, we're getting a little fucked on that, not gonna lie. Alright, why is the quality of life so low in Luristan? It's not, though. The quality of life is very good. What the hell? Says lovely as usual. I see you have Bantu in Iran. Yes, indeed. But then they wouldn't defend you, so it's not very isolationist of them. Yeah, well, we're stuck with what we got. We'll just roll with it. We can get some more people if we can invade Hijaz. But we need it's a lot of people we could use. But unfortunately, we need a world war for that to happen. And the European powers are working together, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and stop hemorrhaging money here. I guess we can do some. The hell? There we go. That's about right. Yeah, we can actually still produce quite a lot right now, though. Now, what we really could use that would free up a lot of our labor is if we had water tube boilers, because then we could get all of that labor utilized in other means. But we'll need a lot of tools for that and coal, which we don't have. God, we're really just gonna have to supply the fucking Qing with. Can we import a bunch? No, no one has it. So yeah, we really need coal more than anything else right now. The army back in and maybe install the intelligence? What do you mean the intelligence, Dolphin? Is religious conversion a thing in this game? Your government doesn't do it automatically, but if you have other religions in your own borders, they'll be persecuted, meaning the pops will either convert or they'll try and migrate away. So yes, it's not an active thing though. They're doing the IRLU thing, ape strong together. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're actually collaborating. I really wanted to see a World War I here, but it may not happen. Oh, the intelligentsia. The intelligentsia are hostile to our ruling class, so we would not work with them. We might work with the industrialists, though, to be fair. That just killed the stability of our government. No, we'll keep what we have. Stability is the most important thing to the Grand Vizier and the Shah, so we do nothing to change that. Afghanistan is a puppet of the United Kingdom, so there's nothing we can do there at all. Pretty big city. Our biggest one's over here, though. This is a big, big city. You go to follow BSSPW. Click on research and hover over innovation. It's not very high. I could spam universities, but it wouldn't make any sense. We're not very progressive. I think we only have a couple of those. I want to say like 5. Yeah, we've got 6 universities. Not a lot of them. I didn't want us to have a lot. It doesn't make any sense with our government, with the Grand Vizier, with the Shah. They would not be subsidizing those. There's no way in hell. There's a lot of support for wage subsidies, which we're not going to do, to make that abundantly clear. The landowners are beginning to lose a lot of political clout, though, I will say. The rural folk and the industrialists have a lot. Should cap at 120 or something. It goes over with research spread if you're behind enough, though. I know that. Everything's expensive. Okay, when we're done with all that. Sugar's needed, but it's trade route, so it's not the end of the world. Opium is needed, but we can't put a dent in that. We really need explosives, but it's unprofitable due to the fertilizer surplus. Now that being said, when we get improved fertilizer, we would actually probably not have a surplus. Can we export any of this? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Everyone has enough. Thought East Indians would buy a little bit, but no, we won't be able to profit off of it. Ironclads are expensive. They're very expensive. We don't want to make steamers too expensive for trade, but we will make some. We'll go extensive shipbuilding on one of them. That'll reduce their price a little bit. Then again, we have more than enough steamers, don't we? Yep. We'll do some military shipbuilding. Offset the cost of that for the Qing's Navy and for ours. Help a little bit. Ammunition plants. We do have percussion caps. We could make some more of those. It's not needed, looks like. Heart and wine. Fishing wars. Are those ours? Are we using clippers? No, that must be the Qing. The Qing aren't using ironclads. No, we're using steam trawlers. Fuck, the Qing need like old school ships to fish in. That's rough. No, the biggest priority is still getting enough coal, because enough coal will free up labor, because then we can put that into everything that we need. So we need coal. Coal is what we need to grow our economy. It is just king right now. There's nothing else we need more. What's up, Moscow? You're a protectorate of Portugal. Oh, they got their hands on you after the British moved out, huh? You're playing EU4, and I'm wondering how the hell I can convert to pagan. I don't think you can unless you want to do a save edit. Convoys. Egypt is doing okay. Their economy has gone down. You're a French protectorate now. and the French have not been treating Egypt very well. So you're not doing the greatest, to be honest. Our GDP is now 15th. Our GDP per capita is 13th in the world. Wow, it's really good. Okay, how much more coal do we need? We need to make 3,000. Should be pretty cheap. I need more tools though. Tabriz is like our industrial hub. If we get more tools, more coal mines, we can move to water boilers. We can free up all those laborers, and then we can build even more manufacturing in the capital. I don't think Tabriz isn't our capital. It's just our manufacturing hub. Tehran is our capital. You could mod it in. That's true. Just set one province for one country. CK3 converter or CK converter. Yeah, yeah. Editing your save file, I think, is what you'd have to do. We've got threshing machines, which costs more coal and more tools. As I said before, we need more coal and tools. Fuck. Go for dynamite. Dynamite would be huge for our industry. We have a lot of things that would be benefited by that. We'll put in one steam power threshing machine on our one rice farm. There we go. Modernizing. That's modernization if I've ever seen it. Religions are one of the easiest things to do in PDX games. Like, it's kind of weird that religion and culture are hard-coded to a country. It kind of leads to a lot of problems. Those are things in the game files that don't work unless the saves converge from CK, like the Yags from Yums Vikings, for example. A lot of people want protectionism. A lot of people want the right of assembly. Well, intelligentsia does. The landowners do not want that, and we are the landowners, so we're going to oppose that. The unions want wage subsidies, but they can go fuck themselves. Protectionism is just wanted broadly by their rural folk and trade unions, but we don't want that either. It's better than mercantilism, though. No, it's not. It's the opposite of good. Actually, no. Is mercantilism easier? That makes it harder to export. We don't want that. The Chinese market has made us incredibly wealthy. We're very, 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 very wealthy. Our quality of life has gone up so much in the Chinese market. I mean, look at this shit. We're like almost Europe level quality of life. We have a higher quality of life than Germany. Yeah. And then the Qing over there just not doing too well. We've helped though. We made their quality of life higher, but still. God, the amount of tools we still need. Yeah, we're almost out of people now. We're gonna have to just start using these things, even if they make us less money. That actually didn't fuck us up too much. Steam dog keys, good. A little bit of a net loss is fine. We need to free up more labor. So we're actually running a profit. They're making them more valuable. It said it wouldn't. Paradox fucking lying, I swear. Yeah, it says we're not going to make a profit on it, and it literally makes everything more profitable. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Goddamn liar. Alright, we should have more people we can use for stuff now. So it revealed that Yalil Zardabi of the Shia ulama has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. That is not going to be acceptable. So, we'll let everyone know about that. We're not going to hide that for them. We don't work with the clergy very much anyway, so. We can get vacuum sealing if we get access to oil and more fish. I mean, we can get access to oil. No, we can't, because we don't have the tech yet for it. We need pump checks, which we're not actually really far away from. We'll go to pump checks. If we can make vacuum sealing a little bit cheaper using this black stuff that keeps coming out of the ground, we might as well. As I said, I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's worth a try. Right, do we have more people now we can put onto things? Yes, we do. Beautiful. Closed borders is not happening, no. There's no support in our country for it. We should give the Chinese rights, drain them of people. No, we're the landowners. We're not gonna do that. The Shah has many things. An accepting man, he is not. And his son, who has a lot of power in the government right now, more than him, because he's not an opium addict, is a demagogue. So, and imperious. So, no, we're not gonna be super accepting. It would make no sense that we would do that. Assimilation is one thing we could be doing right now, though. Promote national values.
Shah.
Hello.
Hello, I'm coming with great news for our trade relations.
What news from Germany?
My government finally debates about enacting protectionism.
Protectionism. Doesn't that make it even more costly to Hold on.
Well, I'm not sure.
It will make things a little bit better on imports. I see. If you put no priority on your tariffs, yeah, it will make things a little bit better. That's good to see.
Yeah. I just wanted to inform you that we finally be able to do that since they're only the sole power right now in the government that is established the armed forces for some reason. To be out of character, I don't know what the fuck is happening with the game.
RP-wise, you just got a very, 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 very powerful military is what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, that is good to hear. As I said, we long for the day that we can uphold our promises and provide large amounts of exports of our products to the great nation of Germany. But until such time as you lower your tariffs on our goods, we are just going to have to wait, I'm afraid. But we hope that it is passed in your government, most certainly.
Oh, it is a very high success chance, so I hope that it should be passed. I just wanted to inform you about this news so that trade can resume and be more flourished between our nations.
Well, we most certainly are looking forward to it. I can assure you of that.
Sounds good. Also, my government is still bankrolling you. I hope that you appreciate that.
Of course, we are very appreciative of it. I know it's a very long-term investment at this point, but as soon as you provide the opportunity, there are many goods. The Iranian economy, we like to keep this a little bit quiet in Europe as we're no longer in their sights. And last time we were very aggressive with pushing our economic and trade policies in Europe, we almost found ourselves a puppet of the British Empire. But our economy has grown substantially and now rivals many countries in Europe. Not the great powers, of course, but many others.
Of course. I mean, you surpassed...
But our economy is almost double that of the Scandinavians alone, for example.
Oh, damn.
Indeed. It's taken much time, but the Qing's economy has proven incredibly valuable to us, and we now produce some of the best quality goods in the world. Now, they will say that the best art in the world is made in China or in the Qing's market, but the secret is that art is coming from Tehran. We have a flourishing artistic culture here, the likes of which there is very little else. I mean, Europe, of course, but beyond that,
Art, you say? That's
Indeed.
interesting because Switzerland also is importing a lot of art, and they also
are.
claim it's the best.
But I've seen pieces of it. I must say that their art is good. I think our own here in Tehran is better, but I am a biased man, of course. Perhaps I could have a few pieces shipped to Berlin for your Kaiser to see if he might enjoy such a thing.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful.
It will be, I think, a little unusual to his taste. We do not copy the European masters. We have our own standards, our own qualities here. But we'd be happy to provide some.
Also, have you heard about this new technology that has been found?
Which one?
It's called photography.
Photography. The name rings a bell. Some sort of new art form, I believe.
It is, yeah. It is a device that is able to capture reality to a picture.
We've heard about that. There was a request. A European, not even a noble, not a trader, some random individual would wish to take pictures of the Shah and myself in the court, and we of course refused them. I mean, we have no reason to take the time for such a thing. I don't know. It seemed like a waste of our time. But yes, we have heard about it. I assume it's very popular in Germany then.
It is. I just got a newsprint that said they should be distributed internationally.
Really? Most interesting.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's a fad, but perhaps not. We shall see.
I mean, if you like, we can exchange arts. You show me or you send me the pieces of your art.
Yeah, if you would be willing to exchange some of these photographies and send some of them to Tehran, we would love to look through them. And we likewise will send you some Iranian art for your Kaiser and your people to enjoy. I'm sure you have museums in Berlin.
Oh yes, of course.
Wonderful.
Of course.
And we likewise will be happy to show off the German photography to our artists here in Tehran. Perhaps it'll inspire them. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, I will send them to you.
Good.
We have really great museums as well. I'm sure you heard of dinosaurs.
A name doesn't ring a bell.
I mean, they got the first one got discovered in I think 40 years ago. And
you mean that nonsense about ancient monsters and dragons and things like that?
Well, they look like dragons and they look like huge lizards, but apparently they were real. I mean,
I'm sure they were. You know, if you had that mindset, I have a dinosaur of my own in my backyard I could sell you.
You have a dinosaur of your own?
Yeah. Well, if you Germans believe in these things, I have a couple of them. I keep them at home next to my chickens. If you'd like to buy one.
I mean, we have them in our museums, like the fossils of them.
Oh, of course. No, I've got a real one though. If you want to pay us, pay me, I'd be happy to give you one of these dinosaurs. It's a joke, of course.
I understand. I know it's a joke, but
it's nonsense. I would never believe such a thing. These historians, they'll make things up to gain a little bit of credit and fame. You know how it is.
But then how do you explain those fossils that has been
plaster, ceramics, who knows? You know, those con men are crafty in their ways. I'd be real careful. You say you were displaying them in your museums? I'd be careful about that.
Yeah, we're displaying them.
I'm sure one day it'll be disproven as a farce and your museum will be embarrassed. But until such time, do as you like.
Maybe I can send you a photograph and combine those two things. A photograph of such a fossil.
Of course, and I'll have a painting made of my pet dinosaurs. How about that?
Of course, if you want to.
Perfect.
Alright then, Mr. Shah, I will go back to Berlin and the
Grand Vizier. As always, the Shah is predisposed.
Of course. How could I forget? That the Shah is...
Your previous leaders understood well.
But
yes, it was good speaking with you. And I'm
Good
sure we
speaking
will
with you
do
as
so
well.
again very soon. Farewell.
Of course, farewell. Have a nice day.
Dinosaurs. The fools in Europe. They'll believe in anything. We could probably do water. I think we produce a little bit of oil, don't we? Yeah, we do. Produce a little bit more groceries. We're building up all of our ports to be able to trade more with Europe. When we're done with that, we are going to begin probably some paper. I think we really need more paper. Art would be good. Art doesn't cost a lot though, does it? No, it's very, very few people are needed to do it. Let's make some more art. We're gonna make a lot of art. Tehran is gonna become one of the artistic capitals of the world. Let's see actually if we even like stack up on the world stage in that capacity. I'm curious. There used to be, isn't there a way to see like what provinces and what areas produce the most of it? Or am I wrong? No, just in your own area. I thought you could see global areas. Produce 32. Oh my god, the Swiss produce way more. They produce 120. Madrid, Toledo produces 120. Paris produces 64. Flanders 112. We gotta beef these numbers up. We gotta compete on the world stage. Production lens, yes, absolutely right. Thank you, Moscow. Get the convoys. We'll work on the art facilities. Really would like to get more glass. Now, if we get a bunch more convoys, we could import a bunch more. We'll need more governmental buildings, though. Oh, what's up, Crazy? Good to see you, dude. It's just, they're just so well connected. Politically, like, all of Europe loves them. They've cooperated with all of Europe, and they built up the super specialty manufacturing. I mean, look at their cities. Look at these fucking mega cities. There is 4 million people in Bayern with a GDP of 40 million. 523 trade centers. I bet they're on free trade, aren't they? Yeah. So they're buying people's products and selling them at a profit is what they're doing. That's wild. A lot of art academies. It's just trade. They're just a fucking trade hub. 100 conscription centers. Jesus Christ. 20 art academies in Zurich. 51 textile mills. They're making like the really fancy clothing. They're making the good stuff. A lot of motor industry. A little bit of iron. It's just trade, man. It's just trade. Everyone in fucking Switzerland's a fucking trader or they work for one. That is insane. Look how unprofitable their urban centers are. The quality of life is so high. Jesus Christ, dude, that's insane. Yeah, he's just pure Diplo. He's just pure Diplo. That's wild. God damn. Alright, we should have a lot more convoys now. Assuming people are in them. Presumably. Yeah, we're good. Is our stuff automatically? Yeah, it's automatically just going up. We should have more trade centers now. Really hasn't gone up that much. We're only at 112. What the hell's going on? We've got industrial ports. What is going on? It's half our fucking convoys are going to the Qing. That's why. I think. Am I reading this right? Half of our convoys are going to the Qing? I think I'm reading that right. $9,000 convoys used by the Persian supply network out of 10,000. They're all in trade routes. Well, let's just cancel some of our not profitable trade routes. Let's do this route then. Paper, we're making a killing on. We're going to keep that. Porcelain, we're making an alright amount of money on. Grain, we're making a killing on. Liquor, we're making a killing on. Fertilizer, we are barely making anything. We're canceling that. This one we're making alright money on. We'll keep that one. Engines we're making alright money on, but we might want to change that. Opium we're making almost no money on, but we promised to do that to them, so we're going to do it anyway. Steamers we're making good money on. Small arms we're not making good money on. Let's cancel that one. We could also try and do some trade routes that don't require convoys too. That might be in our interest. Clippers. We don't need that. That's not needed. Okay. Well, let's try importing again. Can we declare any more interest? No, we can't. We only have one, and that's to trade with Germany. Goddamn. Oh, that's halfway. We're doing the rehost. Middle RP post before our conversation. Check the Eastern statements. We'll do. Let me go look. As the German diplomat discussed with Iranian officials, Germany exchanges photographic art with the Iranians in exchange for Iranian paintings. The Iranian official was making fun of the prospect of these fossils and claimed it was made by ceramics and that he had a real dinosaur in his backyard. German museum officials immediately complained about the Iranian illiteracy and called them blind. And paleontologists also feel offended by the remarks of Iranian officials. They can say whatever they want. We just see it as funny. We'd see them as getting duped. Alright, halfway through, we'll do a restart. God damn, it's already been 2 hours in. That's wild. Also, thank you for the follow Almighty Carrot 27 if you're still here. I don't think I ever said thank you for that. I apologize. I'm gonna exit out and restart though. Just to be safe. Yeah, our economy is growing really quickly. I mean, that's just what I wanted to do today. It's the last session. I just wanted us to develop our economy and have fun with that, and we are. Light RP, but like, you know, I wanted to see if we could build up the economy. I made a fun little RP post about conversation. I read that one yet. Egypt is as bad as it looks. I don't think I will join now, even though I can. You do know that, like, that's kept track of Moscow in our games, right? And if you don't play in sessions, you won't get given good countries anymore. We have a system for that, just so you know. You don't have to, but we do keep attendance on games. All right. ID is not up yet. My Vicky 3 says it is stopped, but it's not stopped. When in doubt, kill it in the task manager. There we go. That's better. I got you. As long as you let the GC know you're fine. I do hope they make a DLC at some point about fossils and stuff. It was kind of big in that time period. There's a DLC, there's a mod already being worked on that does that. That's really good. So if they don't, I expect they'll just steal it at some point and monetize it. But there is a mod being worked on to do it. I think they're editing a save file or something right now. Not sure what's going on. No, I agree with you, man. I'm just saying. Oh, you're talking to him, yeah. Yeah. No, like, well, what will happen is PDX will just take all the best mods and then turn them into DLC and add like a special feature and charge you $30, but yeah. Paradox talked about what they wanted to implement, something like that. They didn't even mention the mod. It was kind of funny. Yeah. They'll just take the ideas, change a couple things, and do that. They don't always do that, but I've seen them do that quite a few times, to be honest. Oh, yeah. I'm tired. Oh, damn, it's a long rehost. How does Vicky 3 work in multiplayer versus single player? I imagine it's quite different. The AI never fully exploits your resources, so you can't rely on them. The main difference is you're dealing with intelligent nations in multiplayer, so economies will grow way quicker. They'll be more dynamic. Trade will happen at a much higher rate, meaning economies will grow quicker. Like, the economic growth in multiplayer is so much higher compared to single player, unless there's big wars, which do happen. Players tend to fight less wars than the AI, but when they fight them, they tend to be much bigger and more disastrous. So it just makes things more realistic, and it makes everything more extreme, generally, is how I would describe it. As a Ludian thing, I know the name of that developer. I'm trying to think what they did. Didn't they make like the Baldur's Gate games or something like that? Didn't they do like RPGs or something? Yeah, trade is way bigger. That's the big thing. It makes it really interesting. Is it Communist Dolphin? Rimworld. Yeah, that is true. What is going on? Okay. Alright, game's back up. Is most of the world in free trade? No, only a few countries are. In single player, I always go for protectionism or isolationism in single player because the undeveloped AI stealing my stuff is just annoying. Yeah, free trade is really good in multiplayer if you're a good diplomat. There's two players who have it in this game who I know of, the Spanish and the Swiss, and their economies are both ridiculously strong due to it. I don't think it's very balanced for multiplayer. For single player, it's a little bit more balanced, but for multiplayer, it's not super balanced because it's a little too OP. You can just buy other players' goods and then resell them at a profit because you don't have tariffs, which, I don't know. There's things at work there that shouldn't be there. Governments would protest that sort of behavior happening and things, and it doesn't reflect that. I think free trade is really too strong for multiplayer, not, I'd say, for single player, but yeah, it's very valuable. Lebanon did that IRL. Countries certainly do it. I'm not saying they don't, but the scale at which it happens in these games and the profitability which happens in them and the lack of political ramifications, I don't like. But I understand that it's hard to add that in. No, they don't give a shit about multiplayer. There's an interview I will always remember where, oh man, I think it was Wiz was being like interviewed about like one of the games back in the day, and someone asked about like multiplayer, and this god, he made it very clear he doesn't care for it, and he judges players who play multiplayer in Paradox games very harshly. It's just like, oh, cool. That's one of the main developers of Paradox. Yeah, great. But yeah. Trade debts should pay less, that is true. Yes, they absolutely should. They're a little broken right now. I think it's interesting, but it's certainly not balanced. But it's also one of those things that's really hard to tweak, especially with how complex the economics are in this game. Normally governments have more control over imports and exports than in Vicky. Yes, correct. Long loading time, goddamn. There are thousands of people playing Vicky 3 right now. The numbers have dropped a lot. Let me look. I was just looking at that the other day. Steam statistics. Games. Vicky 3 dropped down to, I think, like 10,000 average, which was the biggest drop from any Paradox game. Because to be fair, vanilla is very empty. I like the skeleton, but it's a skeleton. It's not a fleshed out creature. Victoria 3. Oof, yeah. It is averaging, whoa. It's averaging 8,500 players a day in the last month. God damn. That's some major drop off. When it released, it was averaging 47,000 players. It's currently averaging 8,500. Until mods get better and until there's some more DLC, it's gonna be like that. Vanilla is so fucking boring after like the beginning. Like I'd say there's a good 30 hours of gameplay in single player before you get kind of bored with things. Multiplayer is good, but that's just because multiplayer and you have to have a well-run game, which can be hard to find. So I get it. Mods are getting better though. Mods will save it. About 200 of them are playing MP. I just hope it doesn't suffer the fate of Imperator. No, Imperator was like a shit system. Even the skeleton of Emperor was garbage. There was nothing redeeming about it. So, yeah, you need they can build off of it. If they abandon it, that'd be crazy. I mean, people have also said like they thought about abandoning CK3, which would be madness. The issue is they don't have bad games. They're good games, but they're like Paradox always makes them. They start off really mediocre, and then they get better with time. CK3 and Vicky 3 will both be amazing. They just need more DLCs. I mean, like CK3, when it gets 2 or 3 more DLCs in, assuming they don't do something really dumb, will be very good. Vicky 3, given a couple of DLCs, will be very good. But, I mean, that'll be years. So, Paradox, you gotta be in it for the long haul, or you will be disappointed. Why release an unfinished game? Money. Money. Money's nice. Money's very nice. Imperator had a much larger and quicker drop-off than CK3 and Vicky 3. I thought it was still, Manix, wasn't it still lower than Vicky 3 though? I thought it had a less of a drop-off rate than Vicky 3 percentage-wise. Or am I wrong about that? Problem is that modern Paradox games have to compete with their super fleshed out predecessors that are a decade of development. Exactly. And that's why, although I understand when people get upset, well, you know, CK3 is not CK2, or Vicky 3 is not Vicky 2. Vicky 2, oh man, I'm only gonna rant about that. But, they compare it to these old games, which I get, because like it's reasonable to expect that if you're making a sequel, you'd add all the features from the original and then add new ones. That's a reasonable assumption. Paradox doesn't do that. And that's why they're still a pretty shitty company at the end of the day, because they prioritize profits, because they can sell those features back to you, which is bullshit. But we got a little bit better with it. If this was Vicky 1 instead of Vicky 3, everyone would be losing their minds. Yeah, exactly. Vicky 2 gets glorified. Vicky 2 is not an amazing game. There are people who love that game, and I get why. The economic aspects of it are really cool. They're interesting. Mods make it better. Vicky 2 is not an amazing game. The only people who tell you that are the people who are obsessed with it. And that's fine. And good. It's not an amazing game. It's just not. It has a lot of problems. It really does. That being said, there are some cool features in it that aren't in Vicky 3, and it is very reasonable to be upset about that. It's very reasonable to be upset about it. But I just kind of tune out to the, I try to tune out too. I get a little, I don't know, I think it's dumb, but I don't know. The Vicky 2 fanboys will scream all day long, but I don't get it personally. Games after years of development have loads of content. Yep, exactly. I reckon they will make a full game and only release 60% of it and sell the rest of it to players. Yeah, that's their business model. Vicky 2 is rough. Yes, it is. This era is the best part for me. The setting is amazing. That's why I'm so excited for Vicky 3. It's amazing. And that's why Vicky 2 is playable, as well as their interesting population systems, which I don't think it really ever been seen in a game before. Can anyone think of any game prior to Vicky 2 that really managed to simulate the degree of population mechanics that they did? Barring like think tanks in DC that have private like servers that run those things to show population dynamics or policy or elections. Vicky 2 economic mechanics work better than this game. Yes, they do. Absolutely. Because this game is not bug fixed properly. It needs more work done to it. You're right. I fully agree. Now, that being said, they're very unintuitive and hard to use in Vicky 2. Trying to learn Vicky 2 is a pain in the ass. Not just because the graphics are garbage, but because the system is very unintuitive. It's more interesting and complex, but you have to learn it. They made Vicky 3 much like they made CK3 and a lot of their modern games to appeal to a wider player base, which I don't think there's anything wrong with, as long as you still have the depth of features beneath the simplicity. And they need to do that. Base game Vicky 2 is on fire. It's an alright game. Base Vicky 2 is an alright game. It's like a Second Life. PvP, PvE, crafting, exploring, flying, crafting, paradox games are map games. Which game is? Wild Boy. Do you mean Vic 2? Is loading usually this long? For multiplayer games, no. I think we were like last in. We were last in, so that's why. You basically, for Vic 3 multiplayer, you're just gonna line up players who load the save. And if you're at the end of it, which we were, it takes a while. I mean, yeah, it's alright. Make tanks out of your fruit. Someone compared Paradox games to World of Warcraft. The business model's not this similar. It's a subscription model. Paradox has a subscription business model. Yet they somehow managed to convince you to pay a full game price before paying a subscription, which is what WoW did. So it's like early WoW. That's what it is. It's just you don't pay the subscription as often. Yeah, no. I've talked about that forever. It's what it is. It's a subscription system, and you have to accept that. Or not play the games. Either one. But there is no alternative. If Paradox had a good competitor who didn't do this garbage and who made good games, don't think many people would be loyal. I know I wouldn't. But there's no competitor. People had a lot of hope in like Humankind and stuff, and Humankind wasn't bad, but it was never gonna be a competitor, even probably to Civ, let alone Paradox if you want like a proper strategy games. Like there's no competitors. There's a few recently I've seen that want to do like Grey Eminence, which I don't have a lot of hope for many reasons. Primarily the person who is funding it. I won't even get into that. There's been a few attempts to make competitors recently, but they're not going to contend. It's not innately that there can't be one. You need like a good degree of money to build a project that could compete with it to begin with, and then you need the strategy gamers to support it. And as we've seen from Vicky 3 and things like that, strategy gamers aren't very supportive. They're not. If you don't have a perfect game, they're going to scream at you and not support your shit. So I think it's innately hard for a competitor to ever exist to Paradox, unless just some like billionaire like Gates just dumps some money into it, which won't happen. So sucks though. Competitor would be really nice. Anyway, rant done. It would lure over all over most of the Paradox modders. Yes, it would. Absolutely. Humankind isn't lame, it's just not fantastic. I like some stuff, but it never hooked me. Yeah. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into that. Grey Eminence is, in my opinion, born to fail due to how it's been funded, but we'll see. Alright, let's work on... Engines are really needed. That's hurting our profitability. Let's work on some more of those. Do we have the steel for that, though? We're actually doing pretty good on steel. We still need more coal, though. Really need more coal. We'll prioritize the coal first. There's still some more things we could do to free up laborers if we had access to more coal, so we'll wait for that. I think this is the reason for Paradox's business model. I think they pay good wages, and so need to have a big revenue stream. It's because they do big strategy games that takes a lot of time. The company can't just up and up and make the game without a lot of risk. That's true. And I will say, one of the many redeeming factors of Paradox that I respect is they treat their employees very well. There's very few game companies that do that. Like, I will always talk bad on Paradox about the things they don't do well, but there are many redeeming factors, and they have from what I have heard, a very good work environment. That's fucking rare in any industry, let alone the game one. I mean, people like Blizzard underlined very clearly how fucking toxic gaming industry can be for 101 reasons. Paradox does treat their employees well in terms of the culture, from what I've heard, and the pay is good too. They're Swedish, so they kind of have to, but still, they do. So that's true. But those employee wages sure as fuck don't stop them. Like, they make enough money, I would imagine their payroll doesn't give them a big hit in terms of their income. They're $1 billion company. They bring in a lot of revenue. The taxes, that's true though. I mean, Sweden does charge a lot of taxes on corporations, but I would hazard a guess and say they're not hurting with their profit margins. They have like, what, 150 employees last time I checked? Paradox Interactive. No, more than I thought. 662. Is it really that many? They have more than I thought. That is a lot. That is fair. But their revenue is, in 2020, 1.8 billion. Paradox Interactive brought in 1.8 billion in revenue. Net income, $500 million. So, yeah. They're not hurting, you know? And a corporation is innately always going to pursue profit. But there's levels to that shit. And I do wish they'd focus on a little left. And I don't blame any of the developers or any of the people who work on a more casual basis in Paradox. It's the board. It's the investors. There's one primary investor. He's not a horrible guy, but he clearly likes money. I don't know. I think it's fair to critique them, but it is complicated, of course. After tax, they take home around $25,000 a year. Who does? IMC. Yeah, but I imagine a lot goes to stakeholders, etc. Yep. Not saying it's a negative thing. Swedish corporate tax is 20. I thought it was higher than that. Let me look. Swedish corporate tax rates 2021. Whoa, that's way lower than I thought. It's 20.6. You were right. I thought it was higher than that. They lowered it recently, didn't it? It used to be higher. I know that. What is it over time? Your personal income tax is pretty high, though, but... yeah, they really dropped it in the 2010s. In the 80s and the 90s, it was really high. In the 80s in Sweden, it was around 55%. In the 90s, they cut it by around almost 30%. They cut it down into the upper 20s in the 90s and the 2000s. And then in the 2010s, as the more conservative Swedish governments, which have appeared more recently, have come to power, it's been lowered to where it is now, which is just above 20%. Holy shit. Yeah, I always forget that Sweden has gone much more conservative economically in recent times. God damn. That's a low corporate tax rate. Holy shit. Yep. It's tax on individuals that fund the welfare state mostly. Yeah, the income taxes are very high. The famed people are going to Picardy. God damn it. We need closed borders, but there's no support for it. If we got the petite bourgeoisie in government, we could potentially try to pass this. I mean, this is a huge issue, but there's no way we could swing that. God damn. Have to keep improving quality of life here. Clandestine groups of academics in Tabriz are plotting against the state to advance the misguided cause of the intelligentsia. We're gonna crack down on the academics. We're the landowners. We're a very hardcore, tough government. We wouldn't work with them. Your new PM looks like the Riddler from Batman Arkham Knight. Really? Who the fuck is the PM of Sweden? Yeah, you elected him pretty semi-recently, right? Ulf Kristersson. So fucking Swedish. That dude's eyes are so fucking dead. Let me link this for y'all. I'm gonna share my screen. Look at his eyes. Look into those dead, cold eyes. That's terrifying. That's the kind of dude that would, like, harvest your organs while you're still alive and feel nothing. You know? Just saying. People love to comment on his height as well. He's quite short. Yeah, he's, yeah, I don't know. I don't see a lot of empathy in those eyes, I'm gonna be honest. And what is politics if not making incredibly simplistic judgments on people based on their appearance. You're not doing real politics if you're not doing that. You don't have the right mindset. Let's do water 2 boilers. Free up some more laborers. Let's try the steel mills again too. We can afford it. Good. We've got enough coal now. Good. Good. I think we've done everything that we could to free up laborers. Yes. Pretty much. Yeah, we got steam donkeys, everything like that. Okay. Well, we are working with what we've got now. We'll build the last of these coal mines and then we'll move on. Do a lot more art if we wanted to. We'll wait for that though. Lead is really important. That's really decreasing our glass production. Can we help with that? Yes, we can. We'll make 6 of them in Isfahan. 6 times 6 is 360. That will deal with a large portion of our deficit. Not completely, though. Hopefully, that'll increase glass production as well. Tea is such a fucking problem. It's because we're exporting. We can't meet our exports on that. What do we make more money on right now? Tea, most likely. Sugar is ridiculously valuable, though. Make a few of those.
Grand Visor.
Hello there.
The Austro-Hungarian Empire with news.
Welcome, Ambassador. What brings you to Tehran? We have not spoken in, well, almost a decade, I would say. No contact from Austria. What brings you here?
Well, you might as well be informed by your queen counterparts that we have now signed a trade deal between our people.
With the Qing?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful.
And the construction of the Kiel to Kuwait railway continues on. However, I have fresh news about your borders. The Russians are conspiring with the Indians.
I thought we had cooled relations. We put much effort and much pride aside to work with them.
My good sir, I will tell you the full story. And we do still have good relations.
Now, the Russian ambassador also in here. Would you like to explain yourself? There's just been some accusations made by the Austrians.
What about them? What accusations?
Oh, well, you're not here to talk about that?
No, we just know.
I'm merely informed, Iran, that Russia was in negotiations for the independence of the Raj. Or was in the process of informing them of this.
Can we speak?
I believe we are speaking right now.
Well, we're asking the Persian delegate, the Persian ambassador.
Yes, we would very much like to hear what you have to say.
The British Raj, seeing as how Britain is declining, is looking to rebel from them. And me and the Austrians decided to offer support for that rebellion. However, the Indians were more willing to work with us than the Austrians. And I believe the British Raj said that whoever helps him, he probably will join his market.
So this is a competition over India. What are these claims regarding the Russians conspiring against the Iranians, though?
Yeah, we were very surprised to hear those as well.
Does the Austrian delegate have any specific evidence to back this up? We mean no disrespect. We're just curious to see if this is true or not, because if it is, we need to begin to prepare defenses on our borders. If it is not, our economy is flourishing very much and those resources could be used elsewhere.
People was quite literally the alliance of India and Russia.
It's not an alliance, it's merely a revolution movement. We're helping even weaken Britain even further. we will
I mean,
not.
if the unions choose to get their independence and issue the Russian markets, I do think that they would, frankly, be better served elsewhere. But if that is their choice, that is not an alliance per se. I mean, there will be a customs union together that will certainly make Russia stronger, but at the same time, that's not an explicitly an aggression upon Iran. We have grown incredibly wealthy, and the quality of life in Iran is equal to that of Europe at this point. I mean, this does not hamper us in any way. If they wish to fight us, they would find, I think, a much tougher fight than they would expect with us in the Qing. So, I mean, we're glad for the Austrian-Hungarian concerns, but this doesn't seem like a direct threat to our borders or our security, as you suggested.
In addition, I would like to mention that we didn't work to increase our relations just to ruin them 5 years later on for no reason.
And Iran has no interest in cooperating with Russia. We're going to reiterate that, but we also have no interest in being hostile. It doesn't serve our purposes. Iran has become a modern economy, one which is sustainable, wealthy, profitable, and better served pursuing economic devices rather than military conquest. The Caucasus will always be Iranian, and we don't need to fight the Russians over them.
I do believe we have to factually dispute that fact. Part of the Caucasus are Ottoman, and will soon be a part of the Austro-Hungarian throne.
Now, the Caucasus are fiercely Iranian. I have no interest in debating this with you. The Ottomans did control them at one period, but as we all know, before the Ottomans were even a concept, and the Turkish marauders who walked across the steppe, Iran was the great empire. Our claims go long before any others. Like I said, we're not going to push these anywhere, but to suggest otherwise is silly. But you may pursue what you like. Again, as I said, we have no interest in military conquest of those regions.
Austro-Hungary was simply wondering the position of Iran and was willing to offer them a solution to their security issues.
Disappointment towards India, but general neutrality. As I said, we understand that there is a lot of tension between many of the European powers, including Austria-Hungary and Russia, and Iran has seen firsthand what happens when we try and meddle in the affairs of Europe. We tried to build relationships with European nations, such as France and Britain, and what did that get us? Almost being divided between them. We have no interest in this anymore. As we have said in the past, we have looked east. We will trade with Europe, but we will take a neutral stance on the great power games that go on around us. Unless explicitly aggressed upon, then you will find in Iran very willing and capable to defend its own borders.
If that is the Iranian Shah's wish, then we shall be forced to respect that.
I will say, Ambassador, we are very glad for you to bring this to our attention. We had heard no rumblings of this, and you did a service most certainly towards our relationship to making us aware of the situation. But we are not going to get up in arms over a situation that is not explicitly going to contend our borders. I hope the Kaiser would understand that in Vienna.
The Kaiser understands. As the saying goes about my family, of what let others war, for you happy Austrians shall marry.
A good phrase indeed. You have great prosperity in Vienna. We too now have it in Iran. There's no reason to throw this away over such things. In the long term, I think we are better served looking after our own. But as I said, we do thank the Austrian ambassador for making us aware of this news. And the Russian delegate for clarifying their position.
Of course. We just want to announce that these news literally happened days before we arrived here.
Oh yes, Austrian trains, they run rather fast, you must understand.
Yes, we were playing catch-up. We had to take a boat.
We shall be on our way.
Very well.
Yes,
it was good to speak with you, and thank you for your message.
I would like to ask again, even though we've made your point, this does not affect you in any way.
As I said before, we do hope that Russia is not attempting any influence in Asia. If your cooperation economically with the Raj and Russia ever enter into military invasions of Eastern countries, or let alone an invasion of the Qing or Iran, we will have an issue. But if this is purely an economic situation, we are, as I said, disinterested.
No, my good sir, I think you're forgetting that we also have amazing relationship with the Qing as well. We're trading a lot from them and they're buying a lot from us.
We understand that, but we also remember that the Russians, in our own memory, never give up a chance to seize territory when they can otherwise, and we're always going to be wary of that.
We can respect that. Again, this we offered both Austria and Russia offered support to the British Raj, and the British just chose us.
We understand. This seems like a completely reasonable situation, and it's one we, as I said before, are disinterested in being involved in, even remotely. So we will leave it to you. This is an agreement made between two powers, which have the right to make such an agreement. So, as I said, it's none of our business.
We'll be going now, so thank you for this discussion.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're not going to be a tool for the Europeans to fight each other. We're not going to do that. Not happening. That was interesting, though. I was worried we were about to get declared war on by the Russians after we, like, reconciled-ish with them, but no. It's just the Europeans wanting to fight each other. They clearly believe in dinosaurs. Yeah, they believe in dinosaurs. They'll believe in anything. It's the Europeans. I'm not saying they're savages, but I'm not saying that they are the wisest of individuals. Eastern wisdom is something that they can never have. Period. Sikhs got free. Yes, they did. Yeah, Sikhs are actually pretty strong. They've got a big population and a big GDP. Russia's declaring war on Britain to get the Raj to be free. I'm curious to see if this will go into a hot war, though. I think the Austrians and the Germans might not want this to happen. Richard, are you Hoffman? Are you the real Hoffman? The Habsburgs are fucking each other. They never fully fell. I think they were a puppet at one point. They don't respect the Shah. I would say that they do. They simply want us to be a pawn in their games. That's how Europe goes. But the Raj was a co-op and wasn't allowed to rebel. No, they're allowed to rebel. They just can't do it immediately for stupid reasons. He's built up to this. He has very good reason to. His leader is a reformer who like is wanting to like completely reform his country. So it makes sense. It's not like he's forced this or anything, you know. Get Afghanistan from the British. Easier said than done. Even with a war ongoing, the British are still very strong and their navy would destroy our trade. Let me make this clear. Our economy right now is built on trade. If we lose our trade, we're fucked. And although we've needed to build a navy for a while, we haven't, which we need to do. But we've been working on the economy first and foremost. So until we get a navy built up that can contend Britain, which will be quite a while, that's a bad idea, period. Now, we do need a bigger navy, though. That is true. World War I over India. That would be wild, perhaps. Let's see. The French are going to support the Russians. Yeah, Britain's about to get dicked on. They're not... My God, there's no way they can do anything here. Britain's navy is pretty considerable, though. France is a bigger one, so... Hold on. If that's not profitable, we're going to put that elsewhere. There's other things we could trade. Porcelain. Furniture. Yes. Can't sell gold, unfortunately. Grain. Make a little bit of money off the Sikhs, why not? Artillery. Ooh, we can make a fortune off selling that to the Austrians. Same with the Russians. Small arms will also make a lot of money by selling that to the Austrians. We'll do all that. Jesus Christ, look at that surplus. Alright, let's see how far we can go with this. Are we good on lead? We're out of people now. I know we need more fish. We'll build more of that. But groceries. God damn it, we need more people. Get rid of the opium tax. We'll decrease taxes. We need to raise our quality of life so we can attract more people to our country. Britain absolutely lost a great game. Yes, it did. You can take Hijaz now. No, we can't, because the French are fighting a war that is easy to win. The reason I was going to say we'd take Hijaz in the World War is because they'd have a war they actually would struggle to win, so they wouldn't have time to stop us. They could hold off Britain with one hand and crush us with the other easily. So, no, not a good idea. We want to be careful. We're after our diplomacy almost got us completely annexed a decade ago. We're very careful now with what we do. Zunderen to Breeze in this. You're not Hopfin, but I don't think you know. What don't I know, Richard? What's here? What do I not know? Gonna follow Dragon 1812. We can free up some laborers with construction sites. On the coal. I do want us to build up a navy, but we need fucking people. Like, goddamn.
Greetings.
Ah, Ambassador, hello.
We would like to inform you that we are taking the opportunity of the British Empire being at war with France and Russia to reclaim Hong Kong. So, if your armies are ready, we can proceed.
You are going to go to war with the British?
Yeah.
We would love to help you out. Would it be possible for us to get the region of Afghanistan, as they were historically Iranian in this war?
Yes, of course, sir.
Wonderful. And in case, we'd be happy to assist you.
Okay, just out of fair play, it's my first time I do a sway, so I don't know if it works. I'll see.
Yeah, you could invite someone by offering them something, so you'd invite us with love Afghanistan is what you do. You could do a puppet or annex up to you.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the war goal needs to be in the same region as the diplomatic play.
I'll take a look. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. Is what it is. We'll still help you out.
Yeah.
And the sharks are circling around the British Empire. My gosh. Landowners deserve the credit. He's gone. All right, I guess he's gonna do it at some point. We may not get Afghanistan because of game mechanics, but that's fine. We'll see. Burn is the word. I did not know that. I did not. I'm afraid. He fell for it. Are you gonna do a simulation now? I don't think we really need to. I mean, maybe the blue key area. Baluchi, and then what are other non-accepted cultures? Turkmen. Where are the Turkmen? Up here. We'll do assimilation and conversion there. Provide welfare payments in the major city areas. Infrastructure is already in Tabriz. We'll do the same in Isfahan. We'll do... Alright, we've done what we can. Alright, let's see if that improves quality of life at all. Might be worth welfare payments. I mean, given like we are losing people due to quality of life in Europe and we can't pass migration controls, we could try and pass welfare. I mean, poor laws are passable. There is a lot of support for them. It's just that we'd be against it, so. I mean, we're not explicitly against migration laws. We need to get the rural folk or the bourgeoisie in our government, though. Yeah, that's doable. We're gonna bring the petty bourgeoisie into our government, and then we're gonna enact closed borders to stop the flow of immigration elsewhere. We're gonna build a wall, and we're gonna make the Europeans pay for it. Oh my gosh, that hardwood. No, we don't have enough fertilizer. That means we can make more explosives industry. Calling it now, he's going to run out of manpower and get Dutch disease. Ethnic cleansing button. Oh boy. Europe is chilling. They're just working on their economies. There is about to be the big war, though. Did India get independence? No, the war's ongoing. Russia's actively at war with Britain. We're about to be at war, too. We're gonna need a lot more munitions. Fuck. What we really need is more explosives. 422. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll try that. See if there's any basic industry we can remove too. That's like just not really profitable. Munition plants we need. Just explosives are a lot. Arms industries needs cheaper hardwood, which we can't really help with. I mean, a little bit. Wood prices would go up a fair bit, though. Well, it's needed for the war effort, so we'll do it. Silk's not that valuable. Let's go ahead and take away a couple of these. Same with cotton. Free up all those workers. Free up some of the construction workers too. Then we'll make. Still enough people. Alright. A lot of unemployed. You know what it is? They don't have the qualifications. We will... We're already promoting social mobility there. God damn it. Increase our production, I guess. All we can do. Alrighty. But we're not going to get to join the war, are we? No, he didn't invite us, and we can't join. That sucks. Okay. Well, we'll support from the sideline economically. Will 1936 games ever come back, or one-session games? You mean like Hoi 4 games? They can come back at any time. We just need a game controller to run them. And right now, we don't have any game controllers who want to run basic Hoi 4. Egypt's, yeah, civil war in Egypt. The French are entering. This would be a really good time to go into the Hijaz. They actually like us. Fuck. We're gonna throw out their diplomats and damage their relations. This I will need to write out an RP statement about. We were promised this in a year, like years ago, so I'll write out a statement really quickly. Eastern statements. The Iranian Empire eyes the Hijaz. Due to the recent instability in Egypt and the world as a whole, the Shah and Grand Vizier of Iran see fit to secure the region of Hijaz for the holy sites must be maintained and protected. The ruling government also cites treaties made previously with Egypt, or it wasn't Egypt, who do we make those with? Middle Eastern nations, which gave Iran permission to secure Arabia. Now, those agreements didn't define what we could and couldn't do. That was the conversations I think we have with the Ottomans and stuff way back in the day. Iran maintains that these regions were historically Iranian at one point and will provide a quality of life and stability that has not been seen there in generations. A proxy state which will be fairly ruled in the holy city will be set up, while direct rule will be given in the, I think it's the eastern regions of the interior, in the interior of the nation. The Grand Vizier, in a statement to the assembly in Tehran, underlined the religious need and duty for stability at this time. All right, bear with me. We're gonna take the Nejd region, and then we will puppet the rest. We'll recruit him as well. Let's give him a promotion. To do diplomatic play. Sub gate Hijaz. Reason secure the Muslim holy sites during instability and secure the region in line with the agreement signed with Britain in the 50s. We'll see if we get an angry ambassador from Europe or not. All right. Hopefully the instability in the world is such that we'll be able to walk away with this unimpeded, but that might not happen. Coal's still really expensive. Fuck. Let's go ahead and expand our navy too. It's a good time for that. How many people do each one of these need? Only 1,000. We'll make 10 in Baluchistan. Alright, we're going to go ahead and strengthen our military a little bit. I think we can rival them as well. Let's do that if we can. Yes, we can. Do they have a military? They do. It's just very small. They're putting all their soldiers over here. All right, we'll try and defend our little treaty port that never went away in Aqaba. I just realized AI Egypt must have moved the capital because Cairo is in revolt. Possibly.
Dear Sultan, this is the Seriska of the Ottoman Empire. He's very displeased with your moves in Arabia.
Greetings.
Very displeased.
I understand, but we will not be lectured on
a vassalization
from the Ottomans.
A vassalization and opening up a second front on the Ottoman Empire is unacceptable.
We have no hostility against you. You are under the protection of the Austrians. I mean, you have nothing to fear from us in that capacity.
Perhaps, but you might have allies one day and conduct a war against us.
You remember? You may not remember. It was not you in charge at this time. Your sultan was not in charge. But back in the day, there was an agreement with the Ottomans, the Egyptians, and the Iranians, wherein it was suggested that in the event of an invasion of Egypt, the region could be secured by Iran. Now, we are going to, as I said, we will only be directly administering the Nejd southern region. The Hail and Holy Sites in Hijaz formerly will be a puppet nation, which will be ruled jointly. If you would like the Ottomans to have some say in the governing there, that is completely fine. Although we're still very disappointed after the breaking of your word that you would protect this when we were almost partitioned by Western powers. We are not going to hold it against you, assuming, obviously, you do not conflict with our interests.
I think it should be an independent realm. I don't think it should be vassalized at all.
That is completely understandable. And like I said, if you would like to be involved governmentally with the administration of that to ensure that both Shia and Sunnis alike are given fair passage there, we're happy to do that. Oh. In that case, I do believe I have a call I need to make. Or I apologize, a telegram I need to send. You will forgive me.
That was a misclick.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because I'm back on neutral.
Oh, I apologize. I was about to go send a telegram. You sure that you're not getting involved in this?
No, it's impossible.
Very well. And I want to reiterate here, we aren't using this to antagonize the Ottomans. My military doesn't have the ability to launch an offensive against yours, even with allies in the future. And frankly, we don't have much interest in it. We wish to secure Hijaz, as we said, to protect the holy sites. You've seen what's happened in Egypt. That's unacceptable. And we will not have people seeking pilgrimages being stopped by such a thing. And the southern region of the Arabian region, including Nejd, was always promised to us. So we will take that. But we have no interest in offensive against you, and we couldn't sustain one even if we wanted to.
And don't forget it.
We have no plans to. Iran is very realistic with what we can and cannot do.
Good day.
You as well. All right, so someone did come calling. It was the Ottomans though, and the Ottomans know they can't fuck us up, because they'd have to fight the Qing, and even their army might struggle a bit against ours, because economically we just outproduce them so much. What's their military like actually? No, oh my god, how the fuck do they have trench infantry? How does everyone have trench infantry in 1880? What the fuck? No, their army would beat us quite badly. That makes no sense though. I suppose it's not too far ahead, but yeah, that's just, I don't know how everyone has that. I never have it by this time period, even in single player at all. Rushing military tech. Yeah, I get that, but fuck, man. Doesn't make sense. Are we gonna hold them? No, we're not. Look at that defense, though. I mean, how many European powers have trench infantry? Maybe it's just like one person rushed it and then everyone else got it with tech spreading or something, you know? France has it. I know Britain already has it. Spain has it. What the fuck? How does everyone have it? Everyone in Europe has fucking trench warfare. What the fuck, man? The Italians don't. They've got skirmish. What about the Russians? Do they have it? Russians don't either. I don't know. That's interesting. Because trench warfare was developed in reality in like 1911, right? Right around then. I mean, beginning of World War I. What was trench warfare? Invented. I mean, it has a long history, but we're talking about widespread use in the modern context, right? So, it's associated with World War I. Was it commonly used before then, though? I know there was a tiny bit in the Franco-Prussian War, but not really. I know it was around a little bit before. There were trenches in the U.S. Civil War. Not really. Not in the modern context. There weren't. Nothing like World War I. It was a very different animal. They were very simple, very limited. Not all of them. Some of them actually did get pretty complex, but nothing like what was later seen, and nothing like what that tech is supposed to represent. Yeah. All right. Is what it is. Okay. We do need to build up our military, though. We did just get threatened by the Ottomans. Make no mistake here. So, my God, we need more munitions. We really need, still explosives, I imagine, right? Yep. Let's see what we can do here. 6 of them. We're just out of fucking people. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do that. And then with all the population we'll get from this region, we'll utilize that hopefully too. The Crimean War saw massive trench warfare and trench warfare, even though the modernity of trench warfare is not immediately apparent in the contemporaries. 1880 is pretty doable, getting all the preceding tiers of tech before trench war is so no in-game rushing needed. I've just never been able to do it in single player, but I don't, to be fair, I don't really focus on military tech in single player either, to be honest. It just feels so early to have, I mean, I suppose the circumstances for it could be created. I mean, it just feels so weird to have like all of Europe using trench warfare in 1880. They all got siege artillery too. I mean, like, to be fair, our tech is behind, and it will always be behind, but even then... I also don't play majors in Europe almost ever. Is it common? Like, in games you guys do. It's like 1880. Is that normal to have it by then? Like in single player and stuff? Because now that I think about it, I also just don't play majors. Almost ever. I hit spacebar again. Yeah, I am. It'll be the first time I played a major since, I think, the beginning of our multiplayer games. Because I played the USA the first one. I've never played majors in single player, I don't think ever. I guess Brazil, but that doesn't count. Could just be I just don't understand tech because I played third world countries so fucking much in this game. There's also that. That's a very distinct possibility here. Now that I think about it. Is it me? Is that a touch? No, it's the kids. It's the children. However the fuck that quote goes. We'll go for pump jacks. Increased irrigation would be very nice. Why is our military... Oh shit, the Shah just died! We didn't even get a pop-up about that. I was wondering why none of our battalions were fighting. The Shah just fucking died. Alright, he has to take over for his father. Nazir al-Din Qajar is gonna have to lead them in because his father just fucking died. Probably in combat. Fuck. Alright. Wow. The Shah, who has been with us since the start of the game, has died. It's now Nazir al-Din Qajar. I think he died in battle. Wow. Right when he was getting his act together and stopped, like, smoking opium all the time, too. They're in Afghan or Sokoto? Yes, they are. They were calling that. Well, why do you have universities when you have so much income if you're worried about tech? Because we're a very anti-tech society, at least in the RP. The ruling landowners and stuff are, like, not very technocratic at all. We will eventually build more, but I'm keeping us... I don't think it makes sense for the government just to dump money into universities when we're actively feuding with the intelligentsia and have done so most of the game, and we're not anti-science, but we're certainly not pro-science. 5 universities is a lot for a country like Iran, even with our wealth. Cancel the trade route. Just lower taxes again at this point, goddamn. Well, the Gajars, Azeris, they were one of the tribes. I think they were more from the Azerbaijani region. From up here, I think. Having universities in a third world country is -1 RP. Yeah, we have 6 universities. That's a lot. We're not a third world country anymore. We have modernized. We have a very high quality of life. It's up there with Europe. We're very rich. But we're still ruled, or we were up until now still ruled by an opium addict, land-owning traditionalist Shah who wouldn't want to do those sorts of things. Now, he might be different. Nazir al-Din Qajar is imperious, a demagogue, an explorer, and an expert political operator. He is a traditionalist too, though. But he might be more willing to build something else. But it made no sense for our government up until now to just spam universities. I mean, that's the way we could get way more tech and get more advanced, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, this is an RP game, right? So it wouldn't make any sense, at least in my mind. Okay, if we are good on explosives, we should be able to make more munition plants. Yep, let's work on that. We're in the Qing's market. They're fighting a war. They definitely need them. We're fighting a war. We definitely need them. So get that done. Fuck. We need to pull back Ahmed Kazembek. Might be able to get him to do a naval invasion, actually. We got it. We're fine. All right, we won the war. We have annexed the Nesht region, and we have puppet of Hijaz. Beautiful. They are very valuable, and they're in our market now too, so we get access to all the sweet, sweet goods. Nesht is not very populated. There's only 250,000 people here, and they're all fucking leaving. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that there. It's because all fucking livestock ranches. All we can do is fishing and livestock there anyway, to be fair. Let's build some more... No, all those people are leaving. That's fine. I like 12 as Egypt, the British sponsored them. Yeah, if you are peated that kind of way, the British approached you and wanted to modernize. See, that makes sense. But we never got approached by like a European university who wanted to do something like that, so there was no reason for it. What's our heir like? I don't think we have one. No, we do. Mahmoud Gajar. He has just been born. He's already a market liberal. He is very opinionated from a young age. At age 0, while coming out of his mother's womb, he already was talking about Atlas Shrugged, even though it hadn't been written yet. So it's pretty impressive, honestly. He could sense Ayn Rand through the Force before she'd been born. Beautiful. Yeah, I do like this campaign. I wish we could continue, but there's very good reasons we can't, so. Oh my. The French invaded the Ottomans. God damn. The Egyptians and the French are at war with the Ottomans. What are they fighting for? The Ottomans are trying to make Egypt become their puppet. Oh man. The Ottomans went in on the French, I think. Who started this war? Is there a way to tell who started the war? Did the Ottomans have an absolutely like asteroid-sized balls and go in, or was it the French? I can't tell. Annexing Oman would be a good idea, yes. We can start a play for that, I think. See, revoke state, join, expel different lots, damage customs union. Who will join our customs union? Nope, no one. Annex subject. Why can't we do that? They're too high. That doesn't make any sense. You have to have low relations to annex one of your vassals? That just doesn't make any sense. Huh. That's fucking weird. No, so I guess we can't annex Oman because we have good relations with them. So, yeah, I would think so. That is so odd. Don't understand that one. Yeah, the Qing also have something to say. To be fair, politically, it's none of their business, but that's true. Oh my god, the Ottomans are actually pushing in Egypt. Did the Ottomans declare this war? Hold on, let me look at the diplomatic plays. Oh my god, the Ottomans declared the war on Egypt. Austria's not in the war, though. Oh boy, France, what are you doing? Do the French not have troops here or something? That's worrying for us, not gonna lie. Yeah, we need to build up our military, and we need to do it quick. Sydney company is improving relations. We'll do so back. Oh boy. Oh my god, they did. They navally invaded Constantinople. Oh shit. Ottomans were pushing too? That the French Navy is 500 strong. Look at that GDP, 1.2 billion. That's just nuts. We declare more interest now. Clear one no. We'll do the Balkans. That'll allow us to trade with a lot of different people. We can't right now. Export a lot of paper to the East India Company. Go for that. Small arms, we'll export to the East India Company. They're fighting a war too. Liquor. Nope. Steamers. Nope. Munitions. Is the war with the Qing over? Yeah, the Qing won the war. Goddamn. Alright, let's export artillery to the French. Steamers to the Pope. Small arms also to the French. Grain. We're not going to sell that. We don't need to. Luxury furniture we're going to import from the Russians. No, we'll import from the British. That's way more profitable. We'll import luxury clothing from the Austro-Hungarians. No, groceries, my bad. And then we'll do wood from the East India Company. Iron from the Russian market. Yeah, that'll do it. We'll need to build up another governmental building, but that's fine. We do have a surplus of munitions, so we'll slow down on what we're doing. I'll knock off 2 of these. Fuck, we only have 45 minutes left. Oh, damn. I want us to get over 100 million before the game ends, though. French Gallipoli? Yeah, but they succeeded. Greek uprising? Who are they fighting? Is that against the Ottomans? Yes, it is. They're gonna have to fight the Austrians, though. This is the kind of situation that turns into World War I, but it looks like no one's going in. The French are navally invading Basra. Poor Ottomans, man. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it, though. Like, the Ottomans walked into a war against the French. The undisputed global hegemon. Was it smart? Fuck no. Was it a big dick move? You're goddamn right it was. Like, you do gotta respect that, even though it was dumb. They're not walking out of that, but fuck. Try migration controls again. Give that another shot. Whilst we build up our military. With that quality of life, though. As always, we need more convoys. I say we fuck up the Ottomans. No, I'll stand by what I said. We're not the Westerners. We're realpolitik in some ways, but even though they betrayed us, we won't do the same. We're not going to get in on this gangbang. Also, it'd be dangerous for us to do so. Europe's about to carve up the Ottoman Empire, and if we try and get in on that, given we're already not respected by Europe, that could backfire very quickly on us. So A, we'd want to keep our promise to a degree, a little bit, but mainly, it's not a smart move. We know what happens when we get involved in Europe's affairs. We get fucked. We got out of that just barely the last time. We're not doing that again. I hope you're able to play as Russia or Spain. We'll see. I really want to get Prussia. My second choice is the Ottomans. My third choice is, I think, Spain. What did I put on the request list? Let me look. I can't remember it myself. No, it was in order of like what I want for the next Sunday one. Prussia, Ottomans, Brazil, Spain, and Mexico. So, Brazil would be really fun too. Love to RP some South American stuff. Oh, they took Basra. We can trade with the French without using convoys now. That's a good thing. Unless they want to expand into our territory, then it's not a good thing. I think we can just trade with them, right? Yeah, the French market's available to us now. What do the French need? Really, just wine. Fucking France, I swear. Yeah, they need wine. We also need wine, though, so... I think? You might be able to export some wine. Let's look.
Hello.
No, we barely make a profit. Hello there!
Well, I'm not really the governor anymore. I'm now more the president of...
Congratulations, President Augustus. Your revolt was successful, though. I don't think anyone expected you to lose with your allies, and given the dreadful state of the British Empire these days.
Yeah, so it was discovered that the British were trying to... They raised taxes on India, which of course I couldn't allow. The fact that they were also trying to block me from ending child labor laws as well. Which also wasn't a thing. But yes, India is now free, somewhat. We still have the princely issue. The princelies, I don't get why they still swear their fealty to Britain when clearly they should not be swearing their fealty to Britain anymore.
Of course.
But I have also come here to see if Persia would like to enter a agreement of such. An agreement between a free India and a Persia.
What kind of agreement are you interested in?
Well, since we built the railway together, we both have enjoyed a plethora of good trade agreements with each other. And now that India is free, I am sure we can cut out the middleman, that is Britain. Britain's no longer...
We had heard that you might be entering into the Russian market. Is that still the case?
Due to unforeseen events, it seems that Russia cannot put me into their market, it seems.
You know, I think that you would find a home most certainly within the Iranian and the Qing's market if you were looking for a shared one. Not that I innately want to compete with you over such things as opium, but I mean... worth a thought.
But we also wish to, with the Ottoman, what we've seen, the Ottoman aggression over Egypt has worried us a bit that they may look towards, well, I don't know what your relations are with the Ottomans.
Currently, we're seeing them getting absolutely destroyed by European powers in a harsh treaty put on them. We did get some threats when we moved on the Hijaz, but they didn't wish to back them up. To be fair, if they wish to fight us, they'll be fighting not only a modern Iran, but also the Qing. I mean, we're in the process of modernizing our military right now, and it is growing very quickly.
I mean, if you wanted, I would, now that, of course, India has its own issues, but I would be willing to, if the Shah wanted to, I would be willing to offer you a defensive pact. This would, if Ottomans did attack you, India, despite I am having to deal with a newly independent government, would come to your aid.
I mean, that's a very agreeable proposition to us, despite all the politics of the last 50 odd years, we have remained on good relations. We traded extensively, and we've had nothing but good words for one another. So I think an alliance, a defensive pact, would be agreeable to provide solidarity and safety to both of our borders.
Yeah. I would, and if you wish, we could. Yes, you will agree to that.
Just send over the paperwork, and I'm happy to go ahead and sign that. Wonderful.
I was also wondering if, because we may have to go into a conflict with Britain. What you thought about if I helped free Afghanistan from their protectorate status?
We'd be happy to fight a conflict with Britain if we would be able to do what we would wish with Afghanistan. We would be willing to look the other way on the Sikh Empire as well in exchange.
We would be agreeable to that if you wish to integrate Afghanistan into the, well, what would be now the Persian Empire.
But they are historical territories, although the western portion has been ours. The eastern is a little bit more contended, but I think placing Kabul under the direct control of Tehran would be better for everyone.
Yes, it would be, most certainly. And we would agree to this as well. Once
and in that case, we're happy to agree to it. We are going to try and build up our navy so we can at least somewhat contend the British fleet, though I know that'll be difficult. We know that you yourself also would struggle navally, so it would be perhaps a bit of a difficult fight, though. Most certainly winnable.
Yes. Yes, we would, yes, but I am also talking with other powers about freeing up, well, the appalling horrid state that Burma is in, and also freeing up other areas. If you ever need me, you know where I'll be, but as soon as I can, we will launch that play against Britain to finally oust the British power in India. I know that sounds a bit weird since I am a English person. I am of the homeland, but
well, there are many people throughout the world who were British but no longer hold that as their primary peoples.
Yes. Anyway, I will for now bid you a farewell then.
Good speaking with you, and as I said, you have our support.
Yes.
Completely forgot that we have dynamite now. All right, we're gonna start using explosives in our mines. We're gonna need a lot fucking more, though. I can tell you that. The amount of coal we're now producing from that, though, is, man, we jumped up like 1.5 thousand on that thing. We're gonna need a lot more, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You still need convoys. You need a route to the capital. I mean, like, the capitals in the interior will never get to it. The issue is all our convoys are being taken by the Qing because we're in their customs union. I don't understand why you have to give away all your convoys when you're in a customs union. I don't personally think it makes a lot of sense, but that's where most of them are going, so we're struggling for them. Unless you know a way around that, Keeker. Because I sure as hell don't. I can tell you that. These governmental buildings done, and then we'll lose some of the tax waste that we've got. It's 4%, which for us is significant. That's like 20,000 or something. Firstly, with lengthy legal process surrounding migration controls, Masoud Al-Amir of the Rule Focus approached us with an offer to expedite the process. Yeah, do it.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, this is a diplomat from the United Belgian state.
Welcome, Ambassador, to Tehran. What brings you here?
We were wondering how you would appreciate some funding. The Belgian nation has grown into a great state of prosperity. Our people are arguably the happiest on the planet. We make a lot of money currently, and if we're honest, despite colonial efforts, we don't have anywhere really to expand. So we're looking outwards towards other nations that maybe need some help in growing in this global market. And we notice a lot of resources coming from the Iranian region. And we were wondering if you would be accepting of investment from the Belgian people.
We're open to it, but we would ask what kind of strings would go along with such a proposal.
None at all. We only ask that you put your people first. The workers that we will be investing in deserve lives of prosperity. So as long as you keep an open mind to expanding knowledge centers and expanding laws in protection of the workers, we are happy to invest in your nation. We won't force you to do these. There's
I'm afraid we know that you have some rather liberal ways in Belgium, but Iran is a monarchy. It is run by the Shah and myself, the Grand Vizier. The workers are, the people of our country have a good quality of life that we give them, but make no mistake, we're not going to be making radical political changes, if that's what you're suggesting.
No, of course not. We understand these things take time, and that's why our main priority is simple investment in your lands. We simply want to provide you with the money so that you can expand your own horizons and your own markets. And from there, we believe that in natural due course, you will learn that the workers must come first. But for now, we are happy simply with just funding your nation, if that would please yourselves.
As long as there are no strings, we are completely fine with this. But as I said, do not expect that this will incentivize us to make any special laws or anything like that.
No, not at all. We're not here to force our way into your lands, simply to offer our services. So we shall begin the transfer of wealth now, and hopefully in due time you will see that the worker deserves a happy life just as your elite do.
Very well.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You as well. The leftist fools are gonna give us money. If they want to bankroll our people, that's fine. It won't lead to any radical change. We can lower taxes though, which is good, I guess. I don't know what nonsense he's spouting, but our profit is if we have to pretend like we care about the workers, that's completely fine. We won't be making any changes anytime. Oh God, hold on. The trade unions actually have a lot of clout. I didn't realize that. Oh my God, there's 500,000 of them. That's worrying. They're gonna follow Alfredo Paul. This isn't with the new Hammer mod, right? No, it's not Goblin. This is the last session of this game, which we're not using it. We'll be using it the one next week too. They're gonna follow Persia of Asia. The Persia of Asia. Do you mean Japan, or what's your name refer to? I'm curious. Don't have to reply though. What are the RP implications the application gained from bankrolling? Well, I'll tell you his mindset. They're communists. They're trade unionists in Belgium. What they're doing is they're injecting capital into our economy under the hope and possibility that the increased standard of life that will give our country will create radical change. And that might actually happen. They might be right doing that. Our government, our Shah and our ruling class would find it to be hilarious because we're not trade unionists. None of us have read Marx or anything, you know. To us, it'd be laughable. They're just giving us free money and we get to basically keep some of it. Sure, some of that will get to the peasants, but we don't care. In reality, he's right. What he is doing will lead to change. It's hilarious the player did this. It's really funny. It's smart because he's right. More money in our economy means a higher standard of living, decreased taxes, higher a quality of life for our people, which will make them expect more, which will make them be drawn to things like the trade unions. So he's right, but our government wouldn't understand that. Our Shah would think that would be hilarious. So the RP implications and the mechanical implications, because it will be reflected in the game, is that he's right. The workers will get stronger and they will ask for more stuff. That will happen. He's right. Now, that being said, we only have 25 minutes left of this game and we're not playing another session, but if we did, what he's doing is fucking smart and would probably work. So it's kind of hilarious. Goddamn. It's kind of cool. Let's get a workers' revolution by giving the workers a good standard of living. No, it's true though. If you show people a higher quality of life, they're going to expect a higher quality of life, you know? We're getting more explosives. Man, we need a lot more. Let's work on maybe glass. We don't have the dyes for that, though. Could we import more dyes? Yes, we could from the East India Company. That will solve our deficit of dyes. What about silk? From the East India Company. What about steel? Nope. What about glass? From the Russian economy. What about coal? Nope. Everyone needs coal. Let's see, can we make more sulfur? Nope. Yeah, we're just out of people right now. Pashtun people are leaving, they're migrating to Sao Paulo. All our fucking people are leaving and we can't push through closed borders laws. I've been trying to do this for a while now. Our economy is just stuck at like our current state because like all our people are leaving and we can't like get a surplus. Like we have a very high quality of life, but so does other regions of the world. And they have laws that they like better. Like, the big reason is all these people leaving aren't our accepted cultures, and we still have racial segregation. So, yeah. Cultural exclusion actually has a lot of support, just not with our government, so we're not going to pass it. Saw the interview you did with Mike. It was great to hear. Really cool, the game space you made with the community, the philosophy behind running the games. You actually listened to it. That's cool. Goblin, are you who I think you are, or are you just someone who knows Mike as well? Some free trade proponents are concerned that the immigration reforms towards migration controls is the first step to closing off Persia from the outside world, not just migrants, but to markets as well. No. We're going to continue to trade. This is not about that. This is about securing our labor force so they can't run off to a greener grass. Okay, this is your, yeah, okay, it's Chip. I was wondering about that. What's up, man? Yeah, no, it was nice. I enjoyed talking with Mike on the podcast. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Glad you got a kick out of it. Why is France splitting you in two? There was a giant war of the Ottomans, and the French took Tripolitania from them, and then they took Basra. So we're gonna trade across the border with them, which is really useful. So that's good. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, we gotta free up more. We gotta get more laborers. I'm kind of at a loss with what to do here at this point. Ooh, wow, we're not making money on that iron, are we? Let's import luxury furniture from Russia. Nope, not much else we can do. Get more people. I think we may have capped out here. Afghani revolt? Oh boy. They have no way to get to that front. Unless we get migration controls, we're just fucked. Period. Losing, gaining a little bit, gaining a little bit. There goes our fucking trade port. They're all going to goddamn Europe. Fuck. Yeah, we need closed borders. We're getting closer. I don't think we'll get it before the end of the game, though. Oh, I know what we can do. Hold on. All that authority will make the enactment time go down quicker, so we should push this through faster. Goddamn. Take a while. Any word about World War I? I thought there was almost one that might happen. Oh god, our economy. But it didn't. There was almost a huge world war, but in the end, it actually didn't happen. It turned into just like a couple conflicts with the Ottomans, and then India getting independence. But it looks like it's not going to happen.
Hello?
Oh. Hello. What's going on?
We are informing you that Afghanistan, like India, is rising up against the British Crown in Afghanistan.
We've seen that. Do you intend to fight this? I would advise waiting until the British have expended resources on this, and then doing a war after. I think getting involved will not get anyone what they want here.
True. True, I guess. But we are to also happily inform you our war with the British is a bloody victory, but still we have ousted the British from India. Their military has been smashed in the Burmese campaign.
I can see that. We thought that you were going to invite us in, but that's completely fine.
No, I was gonna invite you in, but I feel like that it would be best if India showed itself to Britain that it will no longer tolerate Britain's appalling conditions of the Indian people anymore.
Very well. Uh-oh, Russia's going to war. What's going on? Oh, I guess the Congo. Never mind. Very well. Well, as I said, you are liberating Afghanistan. You're going to hold up your side of the bargain. So as long as we secure that, it's completely fine.
Yes, we will also be expanding the railway to you as well.
Very well. We'd love to do the same, but we're struggling with some migration issues right now. But
that is fine.
We'll be handling it.
Yes, we will also be if you ever need iron, we will. Or wait, you're exporting iron to me? I see.
We have plenty of that, I can assure you.
India has an issue of post-independence resource issue, if you know what I mean by that.
I understand.
So, yes.
We're already importing many of your goods to the U.S. surplus of as well, so that should help your economy a little.
Yes, we thank you for that, and once we've forced Britain to sign this and also give us reparations, one of our victory conditions is that we liberate Afghanistan. So Afghanistan after this will be liberated from the British. They will no longer have it as a protectorate. So
that's good to hear.
As well as we will also be taking Burma from them.
Just as long as Iran gets to do what they wish with Afghanistan, that's completely fine, and we are glad to hear that you're doing well.
Yes, as long as you don't mind what happens to the Sikhs, of course, we agree.
Well, nothing too extreme, of course, but yes, as I said, we will not involve ourselves in that.
Yes, we're not going. You know me. I would never do something extreme when I myself am more of a reformist mindset. So.
Of course.
But yes,
I would never dream of suggesting such a thing.
Yes, for now I will bid you a farewell.
Farewell to you as well. Try to see what we can do here to decrease the labor force. Oh my god, so many people are used to light our fucking cities. You know what would be lovely? Fucking electricity, but we're not even close. What's your government legitimacy? Oh, we got it. Okay, we got migration controls. We're fine. So discriminated pops can't leave anymore. That means that this should stop. Apparently it's continuing, but it should stop. Boluki are not accepted pops, so they should stay here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go for... We probably keep things how they are right now. We'll go back up to higher government legitimacy again. We'll push them out of government. We've gotten what we wanted. We can stop negatively impacting them now, given that we have control over the Hijaz. We have a huge GDP. Alright, we're recovering a little bit now. Only about 90% though. I don't think that's possible. We just got really lucky. Wow, they really went right of assembly. The trade unions and the intelligentsia. We are not going to do that though. Not a chance in hell. We'll run a bit of a surplus. Or no, a deficit rather, not a surplus. If we have any spare people, steel plants would be very nice. Are we exporting it? Yeah. Gets so much fucking urbanization. No, we don't have any people left. My god. It's like nothing we can do with our economy. Fuck. Well. Greener gas campaigns it is. There we go. Why are the industrialists supporting no migration controls? Do they want their workforce to leave? That's a good question. I have no idea why, Escova. Doesn't make any sense. That is very odd. They're very unhappy. Yeah, they're pissed about the migration agreement. They literally won't have workers in their factories if we don't do this, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, look at our GDP going back up as our population is no longer being fucking hemorrhaged. Like, now we're getting 200,000 new people from just population growth every year instead of losing fuck tons of people. Like, one thing that would be nice would be to get women into the workforce. There's actually a ton of support for it, but we aren't very supportive. What about child labor would make us lose a bunch of people, wouldn't it, though? So all these goddamn dependents, can't put them to work. There's 9 million dependents, only 3 million are gainfully employed. Is there anyone who's unincorporated? Yeah, there is, actually. I forgot about that. Nejd is not incorporated. So Air would heavily be invested with the industrialists. I think a little bit. He's a landowner though still. He's not with them. He's just a landowner. A real politician in general. So maybe a little bit, but more so, way more so landowner. A low-born man has risen up and a popular leader of the intelligentsia, with some not so pleased by such social mobility. No. Fucking uppity peasant. Get back in the factory. He's not from a good family. We're not going to have any of that. Literally can't build anything. Yeah, we need more people. Goddamn. That is the danger of letting your people immigrate en masse out of your country. It destroys your economy. Restricted child labor gives you lower mortality rates, so more people. That is true. We need the fucking trade unions around. Oh, the petty bourgeoisie support it. Let's see if we put them in. We'll bring them into our government. No. Oh, yeah, we can restrict child labor. Let's go for it. We need more adult laborers, so yeah, we'll do it. We need more skilled laborers. Like, we're wasting the children in the mines when we could be teaching them a little bit more and letting them work in tool workshops or in, like, paper factories, you know? So, like, it's worthwhile. This will take forever. We have 10 minutes left. We will not get this today. Check something 1 minute. Okay. There we go. We actually have unemployed laborers now. Let's see here. What do we need? Let's build some more. Let's build some more art. Let's build some more art academies. I think we can get more art out of Tabriz. What's our art production there? We're a factor on the global art. We produce 84 production of art. Consume 22. That's almost as much as some of the European places, except for fucking France. Jesus Christ. And Belgium. They're so wealthy. It's ridiculous. Accurate, but still. What nations have players? Is there any way to tell for a viewer? No, there's no fucking player map mode. I have to just go, like, list them off individually. Pain in the ass. Did Britain eat them as well? Oh my god, Britain. I mean, France. They ate so much of Africa. That's insane. No, there's not a player map mode. They didn't add one. PDX devs don't give a shit. I've never seen an unrecognized country leader that doesn't support landowners or military. I mean, that's just kind of how you gotta run a government when you're not like a modern country. If you're not a modern society with modern amenities and people who understand what running a government takes, you gotta rule for force. So that's the landowners and that's the military. It's doable not to enact presidential republic. No, absolutely not. Fucking trade unions. Their power is going up in our government too. Oh god, it's almost 20. They have more clout than any other party at this point. If we kept going this game, we're gonna have a worker revolt. We're not. This is the last session, unfortunately, but if we kept going, we were definitely gonna get a workers revolt. There's no way we wouldn't. Look at that. They're fucking wealthy. That's half the reason. Look at that. There's only 40,000 landowners. That's the thing. There's not many of us. With the recent expansion of both the production and consumption of explosives in our country, there's been much debate as to whether the military and industrial sector should have the priority. We'll probably do the industrial sector. We'll do the industrial sector. It's going to make our production insane for 5 years. There are 150,000 petite bourgeoisie. Those are just like really wealthy like business owners and stuff. There are 187,000 intelligentsia, 72,000 industrialists, 150,000 armed forces, 103,000 ulama, and 286,000 rural folk. So yeah, the trade unions are by far the most influential in our country. All these Freudian slips today, goddamn. They're really loyal too for some reason. Ah, because they supported migration controls. Industrial organizers, solidarity. Top of the line, we're all right. Europe's all got trench warfare, we don't. The machinists, the engineers, the laborers, bureaucrats, clerks, servicemen, academics, of course, fucking academics. A lot of clergy support them too. Even some capitalists are trade unionists. That's disgusting. They're class traders supporting the poors. Three military officers are trade unionists. 3 of them. Only 3. Oh, no, 4. We got another. There's now 4 officers who are trade unionists. Wow. Fuck. We watched one get recruited. We were there to see the 3 military officers convince another one to support the trade unionists. Nice. All right, we got 4 minutes left. We're coasting through the end. Our GDP ended up being monstrous, though. Look at that. Look at that GDP. It's our final score. We're ahead of Belgium. We're ahead of Italy. We're ahead of Canada. We're ahead of the Dutch, of Switzerland. Wow, we have over double the GDP of the Ottoman Empire. We're right behind the fucking Sokoto for some reason. We're really not far behind India. Like really, we're not far from them. Our standard of living was one of the best in the world too. Better than Russia, Brazil, Cuba, United States, better than Germany, better than Britain, better than the Ottomans, better than India, better than the Qing. Wow, yeah. We actually had one of the highest standards of living on the planet at the end of the game. The only big countries we're behind is Belgium. Jesus Christ, look at that. Spain, Austria-Hungary, France, Scandinavia, and Portugal, and Switzerland, of course. Goddamn. That's why the trade unionists are so popular. Yeah, no, Mannix. Yeah, you are succeeding in what you're doing. The game mechanics will literally make what you were trying to do happen. It's hilarious. If we had another session, we would have had to fight a civil war with the fucking commies. Oh boy. In the 90s. Yeah, not bad though. What's the Red Canyon? Have they worked on the war at all? A little bit. It needs a lot more work though. It needs a lot more work. If we were actually a recognized power, we'd be really strong. We're just not recognized. We're way stronger than we appear to be. That's for sure. Because our prestige is... We have some of the highest prestige as well. Look at that. It's just reduced so much due to us not being recognized. Damn. Good game though. We got 2 minutes left. I'm gonna call the stream here. We're gonna call it. We're gonna go raid someone. This is the end of this. This is the end of this game as Iran. I think we did a really good job. I think it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. We almost got carved up like multiple times, but we made it to the end. You're not the only person I've been doing that as well. India and Indonesia as well. Just funding the revolution abroad like a good communist. Fuck yeah. So next week we'll be playing more Vicky 3 roleplay on Sunday evenings. We'll always do this for the near future at least. I'll be playing a new country. I don't know what that is yet. We haven't got the nations assigned, so we will see. So, all right, let's go see if there is anyone to raid. No one I see playing Vic 3. Let's see if we can raid a Vicky 3 streamer. See if there's anyone doing anything interesting. Who is streaming Vicky 3? No one is streaming Vicky 3. God damn. Someone's doing a Hawaii game. That sounds like fun. We might raid them. That's the only one that looks remotely interesting. We're gonna go rate this guy, Dirty Old Hobo. That's a hell of a name. We'll go rate him. Dirty Old Hobo. He's trying to play Hawaii. I've tried it in single player. It's a lot of fun. So we're gonna go rate him. Hopefully it's an entertaining stream. Hope y'all enjoy that. If it's worth a watch, definitely see how that goes. I will not be streaming again at all this week until Friday. I will stream Friday morning and continue the Stellaris game as the Rebels. On Saturday, we're going to continue and probably do the last session of the Iran single-player game in Millennium Dawn. We're going to take on the US, see if we can win that. In the afternoon of Saturday, we're going to do the second session of the USA Millennium Dawn multiplayer game, more grand roleplay campaign, mega campaign next Sunday morning, and then a new game of Vicky RP next Sunday afternoon. So, thank you all for watching, sticking it out today. Hope you have a good evening, and I hope you have a good week. I will see you guys later.